University. I'm joined by Rob Woolgate. My name's Jared Fry. Rob, welcome. Give her a bump there. And a unique situation here tonight is we have regional semifinal action kind of in a different environment here this evening.
It is very limited spectators in the arena where normally this will be packed and getting loud, and it has a bit of a scrimmage feel to it.
It does. About 100 people on hand here tonight of family members that were allowed to come under the new regulations. And we want to welcome all of you watching the live stream broadcast of this right now on the OHSAA website, as well as here on Medina TV. We're glad to share and bring this action to you here this evening. We're awaiting the starting lineups, and right now it's going to be Canton, McKinley, and Shaker Heights in this matchup. McKinley comes in with a 21-4 mark. Shaker Heights 20-5. Two good teams here looking to do battle.
They are a lot of offensive firepower. I think it's going to be a fun show of offensive ability at both ends of the floor. So they're going to look to get after it.
And McKinley trying to ruin the GCC party that's going on here in the regional semifinal, as you have Shaker and then Medina and Menor that'll be in our second game here this evening. So Canton McKinley trying to ruin that GCC domination so far in this district.
Well, and I think, Canton McKinley comes here and they feel that the district they got out of in the Canton district was a very tough district as well. So everyone's talking about 3 of 4 teams being from the GCC. Canton McKinley wants to say, hey, we played in a tougher district to get here, and we're out to prove that on Wednesday night.
And definitely coming out of that federal conference as well, trying to make their mark here in this one, as they just work through the Shaker starting lineups. And interesting here even to watch the protocol done among the students here. Still not afraid to go to the handshakes and everything like that here to start this one off.
Well, I think being 15 to 18 years old, they're excited to be in the regional semifinal. They've probably hopefully been able to eliminate the distractions, because it hasn't been a typical game week for anyone. I mean, when you think about it, each player was permitted to have 4 family members, 4 tickets.
Well, and you talk about that, that's almost in the span of a 24-hour window, because as of yesterday, those games were played with full audiences, and then today the implementation here, and then a lot out in the wind here for this weekend.
Yeah, the edict came down from the governor, and he met with Commissioner Snodgrass, and they had a conversation about it. He gave the recommendation of what was to be done, but when you look at that recommendation, obviously it was a bit stronger that in the sense that the MAC tournament yesterday announced that they would not permit fans this weekend, and then more recently the NCAA talking about what they're going to do in the coming weeks for March Madness without fans. So it has been a wild 24 hours, but at the end of the day, they're going to throw the ball up here in a few minutes. We're going to play some hoops in 94 by 50, and the kids are going to get after it and have a lot of fun.
Well, and that's a great point, too. How much of a difference is it going to make early on? A lot of times when we call these kind of games, you're discussing, that adrenaline's already pumping through the system, the crowd's really cheering you on. You might be a little turnover prone, or you might be a little strong on your first few shots. Now, what's it going to be like in a gym? Like you said, it almost feels like a scrimmage format.
Well, it'll be a bit quiet. The coaches should be able to communicate with their players. So if a young man makes a mistake and the coach wants to address that, sometimes in a loud gym, everyone can't hear it, but his grandma's going to hear it in the 20th row today. So that'll be a bit of a change, but I think all that goes out the window within the first 2-3 minutes. They're going to get back to their normalcy. They're going to get back to what they do best. We're in March. We're in March, so it's time to play. And I know both teams are excited to play because they know what's on the line for a chance to play on Saturday in the regional final.
Now, for a lot of our folks that just might be hearing you for the first time, why don't you give a little bit of background of your knowledge and expertise that you bring to the table here tonight?
Well, right now I'm a basketball dad. I chase a 5th grader around watching basketball for the past 17 years. This is the first season in the past 17 years that I did not officiate high school or college basketball. And so stepped away, and you were kind enough to invite me into the broadcast booth when our colleague Ken Kaminsky isn't able to do it, and I'm honored to be here. And
it's a privilege to have that expertise from the officiating side to give us that insight that, everyone always wants to give the refs grief, and some people are very considerate of the refs as well, but it's a tough job, and I appreciate you here to explain some of the things sometimes.
Great crew tonight, Zeno Regas, Pat Egan, and Joey Bova. They're excited as well. As an official, this is an honor to have the opportunity to work at the regional level, and this crew has a state game as well.
And the tip underway, and it's going to be Shaker with the first possession. You got Danny Young Jr. with the ball up top, setting the offense for Shaker. Man-to-man defense for McKinley. Baseline drive up, puts it off the glass, no good. Rebound there. not able to commit. Rebound pulled down by number 4, Brent Walker for McKinley.
That may be one of those things you see early on.
And there's the quick turnover. Anton Williams Jr. on the turnover.
So the ball come off the rim, land in the hands of Eric Mudd for a point-blank layup, and maybe a little nerves, maybe a little tentativeness.
Well, and then, too, being this large of an arena, too, that depth perception a little bit. You got a pretty big backdrop behind you. A green curtain on the one end and some bleachers on the other. That could play into a factor as well.
It could. These kids, though, have played in so many different environments. From a nice take by Danny Young Jr. These kids have played in so many different environments from the AAU level growing up. They've shot on so many different rims. The kids that hit it won't talk about that.
And there's the 3, dialed in and hit. That's number 10, Anton Williams Jr.
6'1" senior. You always like when that first one goes in.
Pressure, but Young brings it up. Passes off to Dakota Cochran. Young comes back to claim the ball. McKinley in good help defense. No switching on any movement there. The drive and the kick. Will take a corner 3 off the rim, no good. Waiting on that board and pulling it down was Anton Williams Jr.
McKinley looking to get out in transition.
Fake the pass and pulling up and dialing in 3. That was James McCullough Jr.
I think both teams are going to look to run today, and when you have that, if you don't have a clean look on the block, they're going to pull up for 3 and know they may have numbers to hit the offensive boards as well.
Yeah, he did a great job there, faking that feed inside, and that created the space for him to pull back and hit that 3. Strong drive, left hand, high off the glass, bounces around the rim and falls in for number 11, Dakota Cochran.
It's something Dakota Cochran's been great at all year, attacking the rim, getting to the rim, creating contact, and finishing.
Shaker fronting down on the low post. Nice drive down the wide open lane, curves it right hand and finishing. That's James McCullough Jr. Now has 5 points in the ball game and an 8-4 lead for McKinley.
It's a great dribble handoff at the top of the key, created separation.
Layup no good. There's the strong board and put back. Finishing that time was Mudd. You said he missed the one earlier,
he
settled
did.
down and made that one.
He was under control, balanced, great finish. Forget about that first one and we'll move on.
Quick hands in there. That's Alex Benson getting his hand in there to knock it out of bounds. Stopping the feed inside to Brent Walker Jr. Take a moment to track that ball down as it went.
Roughly 3 minutes into the game, we have great flow. Both teams getting up and down the floor, playing great defense.
And there's the turnover. Shaker on the break, 3-on-2. A little mini Euro step before it's finished by Shauna Scott.
Shaker with 8 points by 4 different players, so spreading the wealth early.
Went for the steal. No help. Oh, there, they quickly transitioned over.
Great recovery defense.
Strong drive off the glass, no good. Rebound pulled down by Sean Scott. A nice deep 3 as he sets his feet and hitting. That's Dakota Cochran from 3. He's now got 5 in the game, pacing away for Shaker Heights.
Timeout McKinley.
Quick timeout as they jump up by 3.
Both teams getting up and down the floor, both teams finishing. You know, we always say as officials, when the ball goes in the hoop, we don't get yelled at that often.
Exactly.
So as a referee, from that perspective, you like to see the ball go in the hoop. But I like what I see from both teams as far as their willingness to attack. They're attacking the basket. And from a defensive perspective, everyone's staying vertical. No one's swinging down. No one's getting over aggressive trying to block shots. Moving your feet, keeping their body between their man and the rim. That last trip, McKinley tried to set a back screen at the foul line to get a look on the block. I look for them coming out of this timeout to run another set play, get a clean look for a 3 or possibly something down on the block. Here we go with a little pick and roll up high. Shaker swarming on D, and I'll tell you what, when they set that screen on the opposite block, Shaker did a great job of preventing that entry pass into the post.
Alex Benson picking up the foul. It'll be his first for the Raiders, team first. Nice spin move, gets himself open in the lane, just short on the layup. I think we're going to get a clear out. And that, I believe is going to be against number 4. Let's see. And it is. That'll go against Brent Walker Jr. It'll be the Bulldogs first, teams first.
Tell you what, that move C.J. Hall made, going to that spin move to the hoop. Great move. Look for him to continue to do that all night. If he gets in the lane, he'll finish more times than he misses.
Kobe Johnson, the tight defense, making Shama Scott work his way up the floor. Great drive, underhand layup and in. That's Dakota again.
Dakota Cochran, love how he's attacking the hoop this evening, going at it. He has a 3 as well, so he's feeling it offensively early.
7 points, pacing the way. Shaker aggressive on that defense.
They are, and their hands are so active.
But that defensive aggression led to a quick lay-in by C.J. Hall as he was left wide open under the basket for the finish.
It's one thing you can expect from Shaker. They're going to have active hands. They're going to be very aggressive defensively and get after it. But when you take gambles like that, sometimes you give up some layups.
A little hook, no fall. Look, hustling in for the board and drawing the foul. Great movement in there. Alex Benson driving in there to get that board and draw the foul. And that's going to go against Anton Williams Jr., his first, team's second.
You know, there's those little things, rebounds going through hands, ending up giving up an offensive board. Those are the little things that add up. And, you know, when you think about the course of the regular season, it's a long season, those things happen. But in a regional semifinal game, you don't want many of those things to happen because now it has a chance to be 2 points for the other team at the foul line.
And Benson hits the first of those. Got the back of the rim, back of the backboard, and down and in.
The top of the backboard is in play. Behind it is not. So a lot of times there's people that stream regarding that, but it can hit the top, and it's still good.
Good job showing his hands there on the defensive effort. There they established it into the low block. Good strong move, but met with a block. As that ball was blocked by Eric Mudd. A Euro step off the glass, no good. Tipped again by Mudd. He couldn't get it to fall, and then we're going to get a reach-in frustration foul there. I think that's going to go against 4 of Shaker Dante Benjamin.
Great block by Mudd at one end, and then I'll give kudos on that call right there at the other because that's a slap happening 94 feet away from the basket. If you don't call that foul, the guy with the ball gets mad, he starts swinging elbows, and you got a problem.
Right.
Way to get the first one. Good job right there.
So right now that Shaker holding on to that 5-point lead, but missing some easy conversions down low. Look for 3, down and out of the rim, and off the hands of Brent Walker Jr., and it'll be Shaker Heights Raiders ball.
Brent Walker Jr. battles on the inside. Shaker's done a good job thus far, keeping him off the boards, keeping him away from the block, preventing him from getting the ball down there.
Yeah,
he's working hard.
Yeah.
He's gonna get a couple tonight. Shaker's gonna do their best to keep him from getting on a roll.
Bulldog showed a little trap, but that left Danny Young wide open for the 3. And Danny Young Jr. hits. He has 5 now in the game, and there's another turnover.
There's that swarming D.
And Danny Young Jr. finishes. He now has 7 in the game. And the lead now 10 for Shaker. They set up for the high screen. No switching at all done by Shaker there. Nice strip from behind. As that ball is taken by Dakota Cochran. He's going to go down the lane and try to finish. He doesn't, but his teammate's there to tip it. Still strong on the glass of the Raiders, and we're going to get a foul against the Raiders on the board.
I think that's going to be on Dante Benjamin.
Go against 4, and you're exactly correct. Now that'll be Benjamin's second foul, and should end him a trip to the bench.
Yeah, he knew it. As soon as they hit the whistle, he went running for the bench. He knew that that was 2, and in the first quarter, you're definitely not playing with 2 personal fouls.
So as you can see with the clock, the minute 30 to go, he picks up that second. Just trying to watch that inside game as they go to try to establish, and the defense done as they give a high pick this time. A little 18-footer, no good. Danny Young on the break. Drives in strong, draws contact. No foul and out of bounds.
Ruled the defender stayed vertical. Offensive player created a contact. They're going to go baseline. Tell you what, Shaker's looking to run every opportunity they get.
That ball just a little short.
But look, Shaker's getting hands on everything at both ends. Offensive rebounds are getting taps. Defense, they're getting deflections.
Pulling up for the 3 off the dribble, short off the rim, and then hustling after it. Rebound pulled down by Shama Scott. Scott hesitation dribble, now crosses over. Goes with the right hand high off the glass, no good. Mudd's there to tip and put it back in. Eric Mudd now with 4 points in this quarter, and the lead to 12 now for Shaker. Big screen there, opened him up. Jumper no good. Mudd there for the rebound. Good box out by Mudd.
Big screen, but referee's looking right at it. There may be a bit of embellishment as they ran into that one, trying to draw a call. At the regional semifinal level, you're not going to bait these guys into too many of those. Everyone's looking where they're supposed to be.
Content to work this down for the final shot. Scott waits, gets the high screen. Crossovers, will pull it up just inside the arc and hits. And there's a quick turnover, so Shaker a chance to get another shot off with 1.2 to go. Subbing in real quick is Jade Walker. So Walker at inbound. Let's see what the Raiders have called up here. 1.2, enough to put me 1 dribble down. Front of the rim, no good. He kind of caught that in the palm of his hand and didn't get a clean release, but Dakota Cochran misses on that one. But not before Shaker's gone up by 14. 24-10 here after 1. What has stuck out to you most so far, Rob, in this first quarter?
Just the active hands, the aggressiveness of Shaker. They're looking to run and just go at every opportunity they get. It comes as no surprise to us as we saw them in league play. That's what they wanted to do. You know, I talked to Coach Young before the game. I said, hey, talk to me about what the plan is for this evening. Anything changing? He said, our great defense has gotten us to this point. That's what we want to do, and we want to look to run. They've done both of those things in the first 8 minutes of basketball. They've got out every opportunity they've had in transition, and they've locked down on deep. Very impressed with their defensive technique so far this evening.
And I'm trying to think back through that quarter, how many second chance points Canton had. Can you think of any? I'm trying to think through the list there.
No, they've done a great job of keeping Brent Walker off the boards. Shaker, every time a shot's gone up, they've found somebody. Now you wonder, you have to think, in the McKinley huddle, they're talking about maybe running some back doors, maybe doing something with some back screens on wings, something to create a little
the aggressive
space.
Defense that you're seeing. Yes.
They're overplaying, so you're going to try and make a change to get them to create space by having backdoor cuts to keep Shaker on their heels a little bit.
Well, McKinley's going to start with the ball to start the second quarter, and leading the way for them is James McCullough Jr. with 5 points, Anton Williams with 3, and C.J. Hall with 2, and that's your 10 points for Canton McKinley. Run down Shakers here momentarily. The drive, nice kick out. 3 no good this time. As we said that, now McKinley gets a second effort. Drive and kick again. This time they hit on the 3.
They hit in their second opportunity baskets.
And that was Kobe Johnson that hit that one. And then for Shaker, you had Danny Young Jr. with 7, Dakota Cochran with 7, Eric Mudd with 4, Alec Benson with 2, and Shama Scott with 4. As you're scoring as we head into the second quarter here for the Raiders. Mudd a little off on that little hook. And now McKinley looking to run. They have numbers. Lost his footing there. And draws the 2 hands on him. That's foul against Jade Walker.
sure at the break, the McKinley bench talked about the fact of Shaker's looking to get after it and run, right? They're looking to get after it and go. McKinley, that fits their style as well, so they're going to get after it and go and get out in transition.
As we're going to see a three fired up and hit again, getting hot now at Kobe Johnson. That's his second three here in this quarter. He now has 6. Kobe was 0 for 1 in that first quarter, but now it's heated up. As a team, they shot 4 of 12 from the floor, whereas Shaker shot 10 of 22. And that's going to go against Mudd. McKinley was 2 of 4 from three-point range. Shaker 2 of 5. So McKinley a little better at the perimeter. Rebounding, trying to work through that. 11-4 your edge in favor of Shaker.
And as we mentioned, 0 offensive rebounds for McKinley, but to get one to start the quarter and hit the 3.
And another turnover here as footing was lost for the second time for McKinley at the other end.
You know, we talk about the crowd, the energy and excitement. There's an instance where McKinley's down 14. They hit 2 threes to start the quarter, but then their bench is loud, but then the crowd's not into it because there's not much of a crowd
and
here.
A great outlet pass thrown there, and C.J. Hall finishes it off. So right now you've got McKinley on a 8-0 run.
And the bench and the limited fans here getting as loud as they can.
Young drives it, gets fouled hard.
No, they called a jump ball, held ball.
Oh, got to hold him. I thought he wrapped him. But it'll stay Shaker ball as McKinley started with possession at the beginning of the quarter. Dakota Cochran checks back into the game. Three fired and a hit. That's Jade Walker. And that gets Shaker their first points of this quarter. And stops that 8-0 run.
They're looking right now to they're letting Walker get it in the post.
Strong with that right off the back of the rim. Rebound was pulled down by Dakota Cochran. And Danny Young Jr. pushes it up the floor. Now gets it stolen. Oh, up high for the block, and they're going to call the foul. That was a great block by Dakota Cochran, but I believe they're going to call with the body. Is that correct? And for not being a very loud crowd, they got loud on that one.
Well, that's the one thing. For there not being a lot of people here, when someone does want to make some noise, you're going to hear that one person or 2 people that want to make noise loudly and shout it in your direction as an official. And they're doing a little shouting right now on what they felt was a clean block.
So Xavier Black hits that first free throw. And he'll miss the second, so the block actually paid off as they only come away with 1 point. And Shaker takes over with the 8-point lead. Got a wide open look from the free throw line, and strong hit by Dakota Cochran. Pacing the way now for the Raiders, he has 9. And another turnover. He's got a 3-on-1. Danny Young Jr. tried to draw, kicks it out for a 3, had the layup, and passed it up for that 3. Good spin move, right hand, no good. Rebound strong inside and short. And it's going to be off, looking for help.
White ball.
Yep.
White ball.
Good rebound by Brent Walker Jr., but he just couldn't finish, and off the hands of Shaker. And the Bulldogs will have it.
Dakota Cochran looking good for Shaker at the offensive end. Bit surprised Danny Young passed up that layup, kick to the corner. I think his father and coach was as well. He gave a look.
Again, Shaker running. Now Bulldogs got back to get the numbers even. Great block on the Bulldogs side. That was a block by Kobe Johnson. Now they're off and running. The ball knocked away. Oh, excellent play You talked about Dakota Cochran. He raced in there and threw it off of Brent Walker Jr. off his leg to get the ball back.
Dakota Cochran is doing it at both ends. His energy, I mean, you look, he's winded right now, but he is getting after it. That was an extremely smart play. He ran between the offensive player and the hoop, and the ball just went out of bounds. He didn't touch it. Shaker ball.
Marion Herring and C.J. Hall check in for the Bulldogs.
You know, we keep up at this pace, Jared. They're going to have to go a little deeper on these benches.
Great backdoor cut. Great feed on the backdoor cut by Alec Benson. He's now got 4 in the game.
Set up by Dakota Cochran. Great pass.
Almost another steal. Cochran after it again.
He's got to be careful. He's got 1 foul. Don't want to be over aggressive that far from the hoop and get caught for a 5-second call. Look at it.
Now, as an officiating side, he did a great job of getting his hands out. How much does that body come into play when you're looking for that call there?
You got to look at who creates the contact. And in that situation, he beat the offensive player to the spot. The offensive player runs into the defender. You can't penalize the defender for being there. That's always the question.
As long as he's keeping his hands out?
Yeah, what did the defender do wrong? And in that instance, he did nothing wrong. Great 5-second call. Great defense.
Excellent footwork, like you said, to beat him to the spot. But then right there, a good steal. Nope, tipped away, and they're going to come back. Shama Scott kicks it to Danny Young Jr. He drives in. Thinks about finishing, now he'll come back out. And they'll reset their offense.
Danny wants it, Coach Young wants a timeout. They're going to get something set here. He didn't like how it looked.
Now, again, the gym's quiet enough you can hear those calls, but he still took him a second. He doesn't say it's strong enough. But there's also hesitation because sometimes you'll hear coaches call 5 out or timeout. It's so close.
They yell 5 out, or you got Billy's grandma in the 3rd row yelling timeout. You're like, who's calling timeout? That's always one of the toughest things I felt running up and down the floor is trying to worry about who's saying what from the bench in regards to a timeout.
So when you do that as an official, do you get a feel for the game as well, going, okay, I should keep looking over there because this is a situation where he's probably going to call timeout soon?
Yes, you have a feel when a basket's made and a team's on a run, you give a quick peek. Many coaches, you've worked with for so long, take 4 steps on the floor when they call it so you see them and you can hit your whistle and be prepared and be ready for it.
They get the spot
we
here.
Get a little water off the floor.
Yep. Still have a little wetness from that, whether someone spilled water or it's just sweat, either way. Good job by the officials there. You definitely don't want anyone getting hurt.
So I think if you're McKinley at this point, you're down 12, 3:20 left. I think you got to set a goal when you're in that huddle. You have to say, all right, we're going to cut this to 8 by the half.
Single digits.
We're going to we're going to get into halftime at 8.
And right now on fire in this half is Dakota Cochran. But both ends of the court, as we said all along.
But you're going to have to contest Dakota Cochran if you want to cut the lead because
And there it is between Danny Young Jr. and Dakota Cochran. They both battled in there and flying in there again. I think Eric Mudd, they're going to get him again. And if so, it'll be his second. Seventh, so it should go to 1-1. Now, did they keep track of who the shooter was? I haven't seen him point to any one of you.
No.
So if you're Canton, whoever's your best free throw shooter should just walk up there like he's the one that was in there. Now, hang on, they're going to talk.
They're going. Here's what happened. Little inside info on the officiating. They're walking over to the alternate. At the regional level, you have an alternate official, so they just want to triple check that they got it right. They did. They got the thumbs up from Anthony Capasso over there. They have their correct shooter at the line. It's one benefit at the regional level, having that alternate that can help out. You talk about high school officiating. Most people are familiar with what they watch on TV. All of them at the Division I level have the opportunity in college basketball to go look at a monitor and get it right.
Right.
Here you got to get it right on the floor the first time. So it's a difficult job at times.
And I think so far, as fast-paced as this has been, the officials have been doing an excellent job calling this one so far.
They're on top of it.
A lot of contact there going down the lane.
We get a foul.
I think they're going to get number 1, C.J. Hall, and yes, they are. That'll be C.J. Hall's first. That's only the team third, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, third team for the Bulldogs. Cochran, the nice baseline drive, kicks it for the 3, no good. Coming weak side for the rebound, no good, but rebounded by Marion Herring.
The clean look set up by Dakota Cochran, getting by his man and driving baseline. Felt like Shakers slowed down a little in trying to get this.
Oh, and a tough break. C.J. Hall stepping on the baseline as he tried to drive in.
It's felt a bit delayed. It's felt a lot of half-court set plays. I think you're going to look at them trying to get out and run.
And as we saw in that first quarter, McKinley had 4 turnovers to Shakers 0. I think probably on about that same pace here in this second quarter.
They've done a great job getting out and running and handling the ball when they've done it. They got the matchup they wanted there.
Nice drive, a little low off the glass, no good, but then look at that hustle defensively.
Great hands.
Knock it away, a Euro step, and then blocked. Beautiful block put in there. That's Marion Herring with a beautiful block this guy up there and knock it away.
Great basketball all the way around. You had a steal, you had a great attack to the hoop with the Euro step, you had great defense on the block.
So Mudd checks in.
And Mudd has 2, right?
That is correct.
Mudd has 2 fouls.
Mudd has 2 and Dante Benjamin has 2. And Mudd misses that, but taps it, gets his own board, and they'll reset.
They're counting up top. The 5 counts on.
A nice behind the back move. That got partially blocked. Mudd pulls it down, kicks it back up top. They'll reset the offense. Minute and a half to go here in this second quarter. High off the glass, no good. The tip in, and they're going to call him over the back. And if so, that's his third.
No, I think they're, I don't.
If you call the foul, you got to call the shot good, don't you? Well, they called it on Brent Walker Jr. It's his second, but it was a tip. So, are they saying on his way up?
Well, he's probably saying he didn't have the ball. He wasn't in the act of shooting. Maybe the contact occurred previous.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he waved it off quickly. He waved it off.
Yeah, there's no
quickly.
hesitation in it. Yeah.
But I'm not. Maybe he saw something before the actual tip happened.
And again, Shaker misses from inside. McKinley looking to push now. Swings it a little strong. That's going to go back to the curtain. That's a great rebound by Kobe Johnson, but then threw it away at the other end.
McKinley has to take better care of the basketball if they want to cut into this lead. They've had opportunities to trim it, and it seems like every time you see a missed shot, you've got a hold right there on number 1.
And that's going to be his second. Only their 5th, so they're still 2 away from the bonus. Strong full court man-to-man here by the Bulldogs.
Risky with 2 fouls on C.J. Hall.
Cochran wants
He wants that ball. Dakota Cochran wants that basketball.
They tried to feed it in. Nicely read and jumped on that was James McCullough Jr. jumping around that one to knock it away.
He just looked at Alex Benson and said, pass it in the first time. Get it to me the first time.
Yeah, that's one of those, by taking so long, the advantage goes to the defender there, knowing where you're leaning on him. Final 47. Are they going to work for a last shot? Or are they going to try to go? Good hesitation move, drives, kicks it out. Just inside the arc, the jumper hits. That's Eric Mudd. He now has 6 in the game. And the quick hands as Danny Young's coming across the table. Our graphics person was ready to help make the save. Summer Gray was hesitating there and thought she was going to have to save the day.
26 seconds left in the half, and Shaker is still getting after it.
Great drive. Had to alter the shot, though, because Mudd went skying in there for the block. Push the other way. Numbers nice dish off and finish. Dakota Cochran feeds Alec Benson for the field goal. No hesitation. And just Shaker, right place, right time. Cochran looking to push, 2-on-1. Fires the three. Hits, of course. What a first half for that young man. Caps that three off. Finishes with 7 in this quarter, has 14 in the game heading into the half, and the lead 41-21 in favor of Shaker.
Well, you know, we'll talk about the offensive plays that Dakota Cochran made, but I think it starts at the defensive end as well. His intensity, his energy, he brought it from the beginning, and it carries over. It carries from one end of the floor to the other, and that provides his team a big boost heading into the half.
And you can just see he's been in that rhythm all night, even trying to go back and look at his first half stats here. 3 of 7 from the field, 1 of 3, and we'll be anxious to see what they come out at the second half here. But really was able to turn it on and really pace the way. He had 14 points, and then the next leading scorer, Danny Young Jr. with 7. You got Alex Benson and Eric Mudd each with 6. Jade Walker with 3, and then also Shama Scott with 4. So that breaks down your scoring for Shaker Heights.
The great thing when you get to the regional level, you're going to have 4 quality basketball teams at each regional, and they're going to do what they do best, right. And it's up to you to stop them.
Yeah.
Well, what does Shaker do best? They're going to be intense on defense, and they're going to get out and run every opportunity they get. So it's got to be up to McKinley to stop that. And so far tonight, they haven't been able to stop it.
And that just makes us even more excited about the second game we got coming up here, because Shaker finished 3rd in that division. And you've got Menor and Medina in this next matchup, which is phenomenal. We'll touch on that more in a minute, but I want to make sure I get our first half stats in for our Canton McKinley Bulldogs. You had Kobe Johnson that came alive there in that second quarter, hit 2 big threes. He's got 6 points in the game here at the half. CJ Hall had 4 points in that quarter. He has 6 at the half. Then you've got Anton Williams Jr. with 3. You've got Xavier Black with 1. And James McCullough Jr., no points in that quarter, has 5 at the half. You just got the stats coming from the athletic folks here at the Wolstein Center. First thing I'm going to look at right there, you've got 11 to 2 turnover ratio. Canton with 11 turnovers, and you've got 2 for Shaker Heights.
Yes, and that's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at turnovers, 11-2, like you said. The other thing we're going to take a look at is offensive rebounds by Shaker Heights. 8 offensive rebounds to 2 to Canton McKinley. Shaker's owning the boards to a 19-11 advantage. You put those together, you're taking care of the basketball and you're taking care of the boards. That's a good recipe at the regional level. And 8 assists
as a team to 5 against Canton McKinley. So able to push it and finish off. And we go back again, and now that we have the updated stats, it'll take me a second to find Dakota. Oh, they flipped them on me. Yeah, so he's 6 of 12, shooting 50% from the floor, 3 of 5 from the arc, and really getting the job done. Has 4 rebounds also. So
4 rebounds, 3 assists. He's getting after it. Yep. I mean, he's getting after it at both ends, and you can see he's the type of player. His energy is contagious. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't think he gave a little talk headed into the locker room after hitting that deep 3 going in there. You saw how fired up the team was. So we expect for them to come out and have it carry over in the second half, and it's going to be up to McKinley. They're in there right now talking about how hard they've worked this season, how successful a season they've had, and they don't want it to end in the next 16 minutes of basketball.
Yeah.
So what can they do differently to make sure it doesn't? And and I'm sure the coaches are talking about it's not that difficult. They just have to do what they do best, and they have to execute. They have to execute at the offensive end. They can't let that pressure get to them and fluster them the way it has in the first half. And in transition, they have to be willing to get back and stop. I don't know if we saw anyone in the first half attempt to take a player control foul. No one attacked. We had a lot of kids attacking the rim.
And a lot of kids attacking, trying to get that block, yeah.
Yes, but we didn't have anyone taking a charge. So I think there's some things that the coaching staff is talking to the McKinley players about, some adjustments that will be made, and I expect them to come out and I expect them to give a fight in that third quarter.
Well, and they made a great push, went on that 8-0 run to start that second quarter. You thought, okay, they settled down, they turned that corner. Shaker was able to get a couple turnovers in a row there and just switch that tide.
Yeah, and I don't want to dwell on the crowd, but I will mention it. When you go on an 8-0 run to start a quarter and you're cutting into a lead, usually you do have a crowd that's exploding a little bit. Right. There would have been a lot of excitement, a lot of energy to carry over.
Right.
There was excitement from the bench. There was excitement from the limited fans that are here, but you didn't feel that energy that that little spark that could catch fire.
And that's an excellent point. I mean, like I said, a couple times you could hear people getting kind of loud, but you're right. As you look across, we kind of did a rough count. I know Medina and Menor are already here, kind of watching the action. We were a little over about 120 people in attendance. So you're right, and you can even see right behind us, kind of the varied seats. Not too many people here. You're exactly right. You don't feel that ebb or that excitement or that energy, and sometimes when you feel that energy, you see kind of the other team drop, and you're not seeing that on the other side either. You're not.
Well, no, and you can't use that as an excuse because it's the same for both teams. It's the same for both teams. You can't use that as an excuse, and you have to tell yourself, you know what? These kids got to this level because of the hard work that they put in empty gyms all summer long, right? That's when they got better as individuals. That's when they got better as teams, and this gym feels somewhat empty to them, and that can't be an excuse. They have to take pride in their game, be willing to come out and do it.
And then you can see right now that there's a good shot of the attendance right there. That's right behind the scorer's table, and that's where a lot of the people are sitting right now. Our side is probably a quarter of what you're seeing on that side. Oh, there, we got it widened out. So there's a great look at what the arena looks like there, and credit to our staff here tonight out here working. We have Georgia Nielsen, Summer Gray, and we have Jason Barros all running camera, and of course the Matt Tomek working all our technical issues down below there, helping us get streamed live here to the OHSAA on their website and pushed from our Facebook page. So glad to see that. Well, evidently it must have been a quick talk for the Canton McKinley Bulldogs as they're back out on the floor with 3:54 to go here before the half ends.
And here comes Shaker from the other end. Listen, they know the task that's at hand. They're going to have to work hard, and they can't make up all 20 points in 3 possessions. They've got 16 minutes to make up 20 points. That's the way they have to look at it, and they're going to have to take it out in chunks. They will have the basketball to start the second half. I hate to say one possession is super, super key, but that first possession, you have to execute. Even if you don't hit the shot, you have to execute the plan that you've put in place to get a clean look, to create, to attack. That's one thing we haven't seen from McKinley is attacking the hoop and creating for someone else, maybe a drive and kick. It'll be interesting to see what they come out with to start the third quarter.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. They've got to come out and put something together, and even if they miss those first few shots, they can't let Shaker get on any kind of run to start this third.
No, and McKinley started the second with an 8-0 run.
Yeah, and they need another one of those. Like you said, just chip away. I think if you can get to the fourth quarter around that 10 to 12 point mark, you've got yourself in good shape.
You do, and you have to be able to create offensively, especially at this point when you're down 20. That's no secret. You have to. But think about it. They started the quarter on an 8-0 run.
Yep.
Shaker took a timeout early in the corner. McKinley only scored 3 points the remainder of the quarter.
Right.
So there was a long drought there that they had. Whatever they have to do to get that offense, whether it's creating a clean look from outside the arc, whether it's attacking, getting to the free throw line, hitting a couple there, they're going to have to put something in play. And listen, we know they can put points on the board.
Oh, absolutely.
We know they can put points on the board, and they know it. It's the question of how are they going to respond to this adversity. Coach Vlahovic talked about early in the year, they talked about their first game at Glen Oak, I believe.
Yeah.
They lost. They talk about dealing with adversity from the beginning of the season. So having to handle that, well, here we are in March, and there's some adversity, and it's going to be up to them to respond.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. And trying to look back on their path here, just misplaced my sheet. So there we go. Yeah, McKinley went on, and like you said, they put 59 we're looking through 55, and those are the points they've scored to get to this point. So they'll hit in the mid-50s, so they can easily reach that mark. Shaker, on the other hand, their last few games have put together 77 and 51. So, of course, putting that 77 against Warren G. Harding to get to this point.
It can always be difficult in the tournament to look at scores, to look at finals, only because of style of play.
Right.
And these two teams, I think, when they get together, they're going to fit each other's style of play. But again, even if you don't fit someone's style of play, it's up to you to stop them from doing what they like to do. And it's evident Shaker likes to run. They're going to continue to run.
And you brought up that great point about McKinley not scoring much after that, only getting those 3 points after that 8-0 run. Well, first quarter, they shot 4 of 12 for 33%. Second quarter, 3 of 11 for 27%. So the big drop there for that.
Well, Coach Young told me before the game, may have mentioned the 3 words. He talked about toughness, togetherness, and family. And when they come out for this second half, I don't anticipate them doing anything different than they did in the first half. I think some coaches would say, we're up 20, let's look to get a bit methodical, let's look to do this, to do that. I think they're going to say, what's got us the 20-point lead? That's what we're going to continue to do in the second half, and we're going to get after it.
And for their shooting, you're talking 10 to 22 in the first quarter for 45%, 7 to 17 for 41% there, and for the game, they're 43% from the field. So we switched ends and got the second half underway now. Good patience, they go right to that low block. Good strong move inside and finishing strong, Brent Walker Jr. That's his first points of the game.
First points of the game, and I believe that's only the second time he's gotten the ball on the block.
And look at this, a quick turnover now. McKinley running, 2-on-1. Lob it up. Lost his footing, though. And then a turnover back the other way. Shaker running with numbers, 2-on-1 themselves. Cochran went for the jam but couldn't finish. Lays it in instead. He's now got 17 in the game. So McKinley had the opportunity, like you discussed right there, and couldn't convert. An early turnover here in the third. Strong drive, left hand, he's going to draw the foul, and that's going to go against Cochran. It'll be his second.
That's what McKinley's going to have to keep doing. They're going to have to attack the basket, continue to try and create opportunities. I love the set they came out with to start the half, getting it to Walker on the block, seeing what he can do.
Charles back of the rim, no good on that free throw for Anton Williams Jr. And he hits the second.
Here comes a little pressure.
They're looking to trap. Shaker takes care of that trap, now tries to push numbers, kicks it to the upper part. And Dakota Cochran misses the three, but that's going to go off the hands of Brent Walker Jr.
We talked about in the first half, missed opportunities. When you have the opportunity to secure the basketball, especially when you're down 19, you have to do it. Those are the ones you can't let slip away.
Deep three put up. Didn't get anything, I believe, and it did not. So that's going to be out of bounds. And Shaker showing a little full court press. Just a denial, it looks like. They're gonna face guard Kobe Johnson. They don't want to give that young man a chance to get hot at all. That's exactly what they're doing. He's face guarding him. Came through a double screen though that time. Great switch. And a great take. That's what good shooters do. They find a way to stay active, keep moving, and it finished.
Great control of his body, great finish.
Shama Scott, the runner, no good. And here comes Johnson again, looking to push and take charge. Good, strong drive. Oh my goodness, what a block.
Dakota Cochran came out of nowhere.
Young drives in, he's gonna draw the foul, but what a block by Cochran. Brent Walker Jr. just picked up his third. He heads right towards the bench. Or no, just talking to the coach right now. As the first free throw by Danny Young Jr. is good. So he's going to ride him with 3 fouls. We'll see what happens here with 5:58 to go in the third. Back of the rim, no good.
I think at this point they're going to ride him as far as he can take him. I don't think that was a travel. He held his pivot foot, I felt.
And a deep three, no good. And
there's number 4.
Yep, it's going to go against and there went, if you had any inclination to run the offense down in the low block, he just went down to the bench now.
Yeah. Here's the thing, when Shaker builds a lead, of course you got to get after it, you got to force them to do things, but they run so well, they handle pressure so well that it's a challenge.
Look at them just stay with the basketball there, flip it up, Cochran finishes. And I was going to give excellent credit there to C.J. Hall for a beautiful block out, but then the defense just turned around, and Alex Benson just takes it away. Shama Scott's going to draw the foul. I'm only laughing because it is not being a loud arena. You can hear everybody.
Yes, you can.
At the line, James McCullough Jr. at the line. Every part of the rim and backboard, couldn't get it to fall. They were shooting 3 of 4 from the free throw line in the first half, and right now sitting 1 for 3 here in the second. Now you get that one, now 2 for 4.
There was only 6 total free throws shot between the teams in the first half because both teams played great defense. Both teams attacked the rim.
Yep.
And everyone stayed vertical. You didn't have a lot of people reaching, grabbing, pulling. And the ball goes in.
Yeah.
Makes life easy for the referee.
And McKinley trying to trap where they can. Little in and out, and you're going to get a traveling call there. He thought about, and then went for the drive and moved that pivot foot.
So, and it's just trickling down from everywhere. My phone's blowing up and buzzing. The Big Ten has announced that their tournament in Indianapolis will not permit fans after this evening.
So still playing, and I didn't know if they might take the approach that the Ivy League did and just cancel all around and just award the bid to the conference champ.
And the Ivy League today canceled all spring sports.
Did they really?
They canceled all practices and athletic contests for spring sports.
Even outdoor, huh? And Cochran the rebound. Shaker on the move. Great block inside. That ball batted away. Kobe Johnson. Nice job on the block. Out of bounds, and it'll be Shaker ball. Three kind of wasn't square, but man, again, there's that rebounding.
Offensive rebound.
And again,
there's another
they did save
rebound.
Shama Scott going after it. That ball bouncing. Everyone, we're going to get a foul.
No, black ball. Black
okay,
ball.
Thank you.
Nope.
I thought he pointed to the ground for the foul.
No,
just out of bounds.
Open hand violation, closed fist foul. And in that instance,
Xavier Black.
Well, and in that instance, there's no advantage in calling the foul. You're going to give the ball to Shaker anyway.
Right.
If it was, so just give him the ball and you do the same thing at both ends.
See, that's exactly where we have you here. Flipping that one up. He's going to draw the foul that time. Does Danny Young Jr. We'll see who they call it on. It's going to go against number 2. That'll be Marion Herring. Only the 3rd on the team. So Young Jr. at the free throw line where he's been once before here in this quarter. hits the first. And he'll get both of them. So excellent. They've only missed one free throw so far. Like I said, limited trips, but 5 of 6 from the free throw line for them. Nice backdoor cut again. Great feed. Entry pass in and finished by Kobe Johnson. Kobe now has 10 in the game, 4 in this quarter.
When you're heads up, you can find the cutters and the open men. They did a good job of that.
Somehow putting that up and in. I think that was Dante Benjamin. That's his first points of the game.
When it's your night, right?
And again, the quick hands, they stripped that ball away. Strong drive, no good. Good rebound, flying in to get that basketball. Excellent job by Marion Herring. That's his first points of the game.
They're still going to run.
And there you go. Good job by the Bulldogs getting down on the floor. Do we get the timeout first? Nope, jump ball.
Shaker ball.
That's exactly what it's going to take, though. Unfortunately, the jump ball didn't go the Bulldogs' way, but that's the kind of effort they're going to need here to close this out in the final 3:36.
They're going to need guys on floor. They're going to need aggressiveness, getting after it. You're down 19.
If you could just get a quick 8-0 run and get it to around 11, you're not bad here heading into the fourth. Shaker, you just want to keep doing what you're doing. You get the ball in. Cochran fakes the drive. Now he goes.
Oh, good move.
Elevates and drew contact. See who we get. Looks like it's 25. James McKinley Jr.
Well, the night Dakota Cochran's had, you have to take your choice. Do you want to let him shoot threes, or do you want to let him attack the hoop? Because if you try and take one away, he's going to do the other.
Although right now you might want to send him to the free throw line. That's the first place I've seen him miss here in a while, as he misses the first. He'll get the second, though.
Here comes Shaker with a little pressure.
He now has 20 in the ball game. 5 in this quarter. Again, it just, to me, I don't know if you agree, Rob, just doesn't seem like McKinley's gotten into any type of rhythm.
They haven't, and I think Shaker's defensive swarming has disrupted it.
And that's going to go against Dakota Cochran. That'll be his third. I believe only their second, also or third.
No, they haven't. It just hasn't looked smooth offensively for them all evening. And I think a lot of that has to do with the intensity of what Shaker brings.
Gets the free throw to fall. That's James McKinley Jr. He now has 7 points in the game.
Wonder if McKinley's going to do a little something different, maybe throw a diamond or 2-2-1. The run and jump really, with the speed of Shaker, hasn't impacted them.
Great job, great read. McCullough was the first person who knew he missed that free throw, knew where it was going, went and grabbed that rebound, and then the great wherewithal to find Kobe Johnson, who dialed in and hit that three.
Down 16, 2:57 left in the third quarter. Right now, Coach Vlahovic is talking to him about, guys, listen, we're going to have to score points, but none of that matters if we're giving them up at the other end. They can't trade buckets to get back in this game. They have to get stops.
And forgive me, that was Anton Williams Jr. I said Kobe Johnson. I misspoke there. That was Anton Williams Jr., number 10, hitting that three.
If we have to apologize every time we misspeak, I'm going to be doing a lot of apologizing this evening.
Well, I cut the 0 and missed the 1 there, so that was my fault there on that one. Just want to give credit to all those great fans at Shaker and McKinley watching this. Give everyone credit where it's due.
Definitely.
Again, thanks for joining us here on Medina TV as we stream this live, and glad to bring you this action here in light of all the situation going on right now, and McKinley almost another turnover.
As a defense, you get hands on that ball, you have to be able to control it.
I think Young got a finger in the eye there on that one. Williams Jr. gets his second. That's the 5th team foul, so they're 2 away from the bonus. Young's still trying to fix his eye. I think he might have to come out for a minute. Oh, there it just went. It was a contact. Did you see it fall out?
Yeah.
Oh, that's got to be the worst, too, because there's nothing ever clean. No one ever has, like, saline solution sitting over there.
They've got a sub in, so they're going to move on. And
I think he's got a wet wipe. That's about the best he's going to give him to clean that lens off. .234 left to go here in the third. Big drive, hesitation, floating it up and in. Shama Scott.
Way to attack the hoop. There's got to be some help defense that slides in. McKinley can't be giving up buckets in the lane. If Shaker's going to beat you at this point, you're probably going to let him shoot the outside shots.
And we're going to get a foul, I think, on number 15. Wait on the official to come up.
We're shooting 2.
Nope, take that back. It's going to be number 5. Jade Walker. That's his second, team's 4th. And a hit on the free throw by Johnson.
Danny Young Jr. back in the game.
Got that contact fixed. And the second free throw in. Nice to see Johnson now with 6 in the quarter, 12 in the game for him.
Great sportsmanship from Anton Williams Jr. Walked over to Danny Young and said, "You good? You all right?" So
great job to Sky, but again, just, oh wait, we don't get it. A lot of bodies flying on the floor. Now the numbers for the Bulldogs, and they finish. Great action there. Fast and furious, and the defense has picked up intensity here for the Bulldogs.
There's the charge. There's the charge. That's what we said.
You were talking about that whole game. No one is set up to take it. Well, Marion Herring did that, just that. Drew the charge, gets the ball back for the Bulldogs.
When the pressure steps up from McKinley, Shaker's going to have to beat it by passing the basketball. They're not going to be able to beat it trying to dribble through it when they're having so many guys come attack.
So, hey, you hit a 3 here. We've hit that magic number we talked about.
Good defense.
And there goes that look for 3, and there's the hit. The magic number, we said get it down to 11 by the end of the quarter. They've just done that. And an opportunity with 1:29 left to close that gap. A tough foul by Anton Williams Jr. That'll pick up his 3rd.
It's a tough foul. We've got 3 white jerseys in the backcourt with Danny Young Jr. I think he's going to hear from his coach about looking up. We've got open guys on wings to push the ball and get it to.
Key to watch here. Next foul sends Shaker to the line, shooting 1-on-1. And we're going to get a timeout on the floor. So this is the kind of run, and this is interesting to see. We talk about crowd. Again, you're talking about the crowd and where you get the involvement.
And
the 50 or so Canton McKinley fans making a lot of noise right now.
You know, they are. And the kids are fired up and into it from the McKinley side. First time we've seen them all night. Shaker assistants are all coming out on the floor trying to help referee. Listen, they built a big lead throughout this game. The last thing they need to focus on at this point is the officiating. Focus on the task at hand. That's handling the basketball, handling the pressure. Everything else will take care of itself.
All right, so clarify for me. You have these officials as an official yourself. What do they usually tell you when those assistants are saying something? Just watch something? Why didn't you call this?
You know,
what goes on there?
99% of the time, the people at the game and the coaches on the bench are all watching one thing. What are they watching? They're watching the basketball.
Yeah.
Someone's got to be watching the other 8 players besides the ball handler and the defender. So they're telling us everything they see from their angle. They've got one of the worst angles in the gym sitting on the bench. So, you listen, but you know these guys as well. I mean, we have Northeast Ohio officials, 2 Northeast Ohio teams. Everyone knows each other. So, listen, everybody wants to win.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, what a great pass ahead. And he's going to draw the contact that's going to go against, I believe, Kobe Johnson and send Dakota Cochran to the free throw line. And, yep, that is against Johnson. That's only his first foul, but it does make it 1-1 now the rest of the way for, 1-1 until the 2-shot for Shaker.
Now's the time to give my little twist on. I would love to see the high school rule change. I would love to see only be permitted 5 fouls in a quarter, and then they reset at the end of the quarter, 5 team fouls, that is. So we would shoot at the 5th team foul, and then they would reset. That way, we're going to play the whole entire 4th quarter and be in the bonus.
And right now, if you've had to find a weakness in Cochran's game, it's been at that free throw line here tonight. As he splits the pair. Now 50% as he's 2 for 4 from that free throw line. Something to keep your eye on here down the stretch. But has 6 and pacing the way for Shaker with 21 points. And almost had a steal there. Great pass, beautiful bounce pass and feed and finish by Amarian Herring.
That's what didn't happen in the first half. Shaker took chances and they weren't able to convert with layups. Now they were able to take chances and they could convert and get the layup.
Now Danny Young Jr. just drew the foul on C.J. Hall. But are they calling it a player control? It should be 1-1. Just the official wasn't up on that. So Hall picks up his 3rd.
And McKinley has made this run. And Brent Walker's been on the bench.
Yeah.
So you have him, a fresh Brent Walker, coming in the 4th quarter to start. He has 4 fouls. You anticipate him starting the 4th quarter to bring a little more energy, a little more size, some rebounding.
And Danny Young Jr. just doing his work at the free throw line in this quarter. Now 4 of 5 from the free throw line just in this quarter. Make that 5 of 6. And the final minute to go here in this 3rd. Get it back to 10 or single digits here for the Bulldogs. There's the kick out. Good look at the 3. Hits!
That's twice they've got clean looks from that left side at the 3-point line.
That's
and converted.
James McCullough Jr. And a turnover. Oh, he just got teed up. That was right in front of us, Rob. I looked down. Did you see what drew the tee?
Yeah, there was a little taunting in the kid's face. Yeah, he yelled in the young man's face. So now we're going to go the other end. Shaker's going to shoot 2. Shaker's going to get the ball. So instead of a chance for McKinley to cut it to under 9.
Because I thought at first when I looked down, he was just screaming in general. So it must be when I looked down, he kind of turned.
They were close. Their faces were in close proximity.
Did we catch who they called that on?
That's what.
Xavier Black. Okay, that's what I thought it was. Great effort by Xavier Black. Got the turnover. Their team was going to have a chance to even cut into this lead more with 38.9. Instead, you got Danny Young Jr. here, who's lived at the free throw line here in the 3rd. And they're going to get the ball back.
And they're going to get the ball in midcourt. So they would have had a chance to cut it to 6 or 7. And they might have held for 1 because they're going to get the ball to start the 4th quarter.
Sorry, I was looking down. He made that, correct?
He did. 11-point lead.
Strong drive. Shaman Scott, he just lost the handle on that. Tried to gather it and then just slid off his hands. So a break for the Bulldogs there when they needed one most. Oh. Almost gave that one back. Johnson driving, crosses over, spins now, puts it up nicely. Front of the rim, no good. Goes after his own rebound. Gets it, he's on the floor. We're going to get a jump ball.
Stays here, white ball.
Good heads up by Johnson to get on the floor and get that one. So just under 15 seconds for them to get a shot off here. They've knocked at this door multiple times here to get it to single digits. And another opportunity to do so here. Watch for Johnson coming around the screen. Looking to flare screen, comes off the dribble. Kick it back, one more swing, a big look at the three, and that's going to be short and off the mark. Johnson was clear out at half court there. They got taken out of that. As the shot was off by Anton Williams Jr. and just a 1/10 of a second, so it should just be a catch and end of the quarter.
That's it.
Oh, I expected a better effort from a cheerleader to stop that one from going all the way to the curtain, but as they'll round up that basketball, we'll tally up some third quarter stats here for you. Shaker 58 and McKinley 47, so they got it down to 11.
They got it down to 11. They outscored them that quarter 26-17. They're going to need that effort right now, starting to get it as the fourth quarter begins. They're going to start on the defensive end, but that's where they have to create it. They have to create the turnovers at the defensive end.
And breaking down the scoring for the Bulldogs with a great quarter. Working through my numbers there real quick.
And I think in the Shaker huddle right now, they have to talk about what led them to scoring 41 points in the first half. They got it by being aggressive and intense at the defensive end and getting out and running. And we didn't see that much of that in the third quarter. We didn't see that intensity. We saw they were a little more sloppy with the basketball. They've got to take care of the basketball if they want to finish this ball game.
And that's going to be a lot to Kobe Johnson pacing the way for them. He had 6 points in the quarter, has 12 in the ball game. C.J. Hall had 5 points in the quarter, now has 11 in the game. Marion Herring had 4 in that quarter, has 4 in the game. Brent Walker Jr. with 2 points in the game as well. Anton Williams Jr., he had 4 points in that quarter, 7 in the game. Xavier Black with 1. And then James McCullough Jr. had 5 in that quarter, 10 in the game for him. And it's going to be Shaker starting things off.
Good hands.
Yeah,
good hands.
It. And now they got a man out. That's Johnson. And he throws it down.
Sometimes dunks are worth more than 2.
Exactly.
Because they provide that spark, they provide energy. So anytime a kid can do one, the coaches love to see it because the kids feed off it.
And that just got it down to 9. McKinley was coming up the trap, but Danny Young Jr. quickly drove in, gets it blocked. Mudd gets it blocked. Great defense, but then again, the opportunities to grab onto the ball as that one's lost out of bounds by Antoine Williams Jr.
Danny Young Jr. did a great job turning the corner, getting to the lane. Then 2 great blocks. Ball ends up on the floor. Who wants it? Who's going to get? Oh,
that's going to be
white.
Canton McKinley's ball. Excellent job by Marion Herring, knocking that ball off the hook foot of Mudd.
Coach Vlahovic is going with the group that helped cut into this lead.
So that's Dante Benjamin checking back in the game.
Yeah, Brent Walker over there on the bench. He's saving him. He has 4 fouls.
Well, it might be they made this run without him.
Yep.
And just going to keep riding it.
Yes.
Good little hesitation move. Kicked it to that corner. They had those lanes wide open. He could have finished that.
You do, and there's so much pep in the step.
Calling for that basketball, clapping his hands was Anton Williams Jr. He finally gets it, dials in, and hits. Oh my, what a nice move by Dakota Cochran.
Smart play. Smart basketball play.
Now right there, a hard hit, drawing the foul. I think it's going to go against Marion Herring. But that's where you talked about before. He's got to step in there and take that charge.
I think we just had another technical foul.
On who?
I think the way it looks like it's coming on Alex Benson based on his reaction. He spiked the ball, and I think that's what it's going to be for. So what we'll do is we'll shoot 2 at this end, and Dakota Cochran will shoot 2. Then we'll shoot 2 at this end, and McKinley will get the ball at half court.
The head coach, Danny Young's looking to see what the heck happened. And I think you're right. I think that's what you just explained it. The slamming of the ball.
Well, here's the deal, too. From an officiating perspective, you've called a technical foul on one team.
Right.
One team's got one. It's probably not going to take much from an officiating point of view to get one on the other team. They were delayed getting the points on the board, 60-52.
Okay. Then back the other way.
So right now you're looking, McKinley's down 7. Could be 6 depending on this next free throw, and they're going to get the basketball at midcourt.
So this just turned into a ball game now. 6-point lead, and now McKinley back with the basketball.
And if you're getting McKinley, you can't worry about the previous 3 quarters. You can't worry about where was the energy, where was the excitement. You make sure it's here now.
Well, now they've just woke up the Bulldog crowd. They're on their feet here. Now the Shaker crowd trying to chime in with a chance of defense. Getting a little loud in here now. Nice pass. Oh, great feed, great patience. And Marion Herring living on the inside here. 6 points in the second half. And we're down to a 2-point game.
Kick ball. We will have a new. Still have 10 seconds remaining to get it across the timeline.
The intensity and the pressure, they're looking to trap. They're coming up for it. Again, good job by Danny Young Jr. to split that and just drive it hard to the hoop. Wonderful rebound down low. And finishing with that is Dante Benjamin was in there to clean it up. And now Shaker with a trap of their own. Wide open down the floor. Oh, what a block. Shama Scott comes from nowhere.
Shama Scott, great block.
And Marion Herring didn't know what happened there. He thought he had the easy lay-in, and then Shama converts at the other end. We'll get a track meet going here, as that's going to be a turnover. And I don't know, do you take the timeout here if to settle down a little bit? Nope, he's just telling the guys to calm down.
Yeah, tell them. Well, when you make runs like that, you know you're going to have a turnover too because you're taking chances. You have to take chances when you're down that many points. They're down 8 right now. They cut it to 4. So now's the time where they can bear down. There's 5:43 to go and say, hey, we've got back in this game. Let's stay under control, handle the basketball.
See if they try to trap. So far not showing any signs of that. They're just going to play straight man. He backs off Shama Scott here. He's going to give him room.
Coach Young, tell him, get going, run the offense. Oh, gave him the lane.
Now sometimes this can, they're just trying to work that drive. Oh, look to do the kick.
Someone's got to get on the floor.
A lot of bodies flying. And they're going to reset the offense, and bodies still continue to hit the floor. We get a timeout here, as McKinley was hard after that one. C.J. Hall trying hard to get that steal, and Coach Young gets the timeout. Well, in case you just tuned in, let's reset the stage for you. It was Shaker 24-10 after 1. Shaker led at the half 41-21, so a 20-point lead. Canton, the Bulldogs, came roaring back in the third, cut the lead to 11, 47-58. And now we stand with the continued run by these Bulldogs, closing this lead, getting it down to 8. It'll be Shaker ball in the backcourt.
Isn't this what it's supposed to be all about?
Exactly.
I mean, you've got kids diving on the floor, you got kids going after it, you've got great passes, great blocks, both teams are playing hard. Really impressed with Canton McKinley's resiliency and not packing it in
I
down
agree.
at the break. They came out and, and that's pride. They're saying, listen, we're not going to leave that easy.
And they're showing that battle right now. Shama Scott getting down the lane. Floater hits. 4 points in this quarter for Scott. He has 10 in the game now. And we get the blocking foul.
We're going to be shooting. We're shooting the rest of the way at both ends.
Now that's Cochran's 4th foul, and he's been the spark plug for this team. So that's something to watch here in the final 4:48. What's he going to do with Dakota Cochran? And they got the substitution in for him right away. Now it's going to send to the line Xavier Black, shooting 1-1. So let's keep an eye on that. The 4:48 mark is when he goes out.
10-point game. I'm going to say if it gets to 6, he'll be at the table.
And again, the interesting, I was going to say they didn't have anyone down low there, but still no sign of Brent Walker Jr.
They're going to have to get after it with speed and pressure. And
that free throw's off the mark. You can't have too many of those getting missed. 4:40 and counting. McKinley coming with that trap. Oh, just missing the steal. Scott resets up top. Here comes the trap again. Patience by Shaker here, content to bring this out and work a little clock.
There
Young drives, lost his footing, and we had to get another timeout by Coach Young. I'm sure he hated to burn those timeouts, but that's one to keep that possession in a 9-point game.
So trade that timeout instead of a turnover at this point in the game.
Trying to look.
But I understand. Shaker, their goal is to hit fast forward on that clock.
Right.
It's 4:19, and they want it to get down. They want to eliminate it. But it seems like they're doing things that they don't do typically.
Right. Well, or just some of those things that they try to pull out and run any type of slowdown. That's not what their offense is doing this
they're
whole
not
game.
a pause, a motion team. I mean, the previous time, Shauna Scott took it to the hoop and finished.
Right.
So I think if someone has the opportunity to drive, Coach Young's going to allow them to do that.
Well, and I'm hoping one of the coaches has pointed that out. If you watch the Bulldogs defense now, it's not containing that lane. They're waiting on that kick-out pass. So they're going out to defend the outside pass on a drive. So you're exactly right. That lane's going to be open. Yeah, that's what I thought you're going to. Well, I thought you'd see him in on this offensive possession, but he's heading to the table now. That didn't take long. They're going to bring Cochran back in.
Close to an illegal screen up top. Oh, that's a hole. He grabbed his arm.
That's going to go against Anton Williams Jr. That's his 4th, so he's got 4 fouls now. And I think 2 shots now. Yep, as they reach the double bonus. And he continues to get the job done at their free throw line. 9 of 10 from the free throw line for Danny Young Jr. Great look down the lane and finish by Kobe Johnson. What a
great move by Kobe Johnson.
Superb move. And they've got it back down to 9. See if they can close back to within 4. Now here you see they're slowing down the pace here. Let's see if they can look to drive off this.
They're going to have to run someone at Danny Young Jr. to force him to give up that basketball.
Yeah, they're setting up a type of weave here.
Yeah, a little pause up top. Cam McKinley's going to have to take chances. They're going to have to jump the passing lanes like that. There. Oh, and it's goaltend. Yep, they're going to score the bucket too.
They're talking it over right now. I thought that ball was up there already.
Yes,
yeah, they are going to call it the goaltend. Yep.
hit off the board above the cylinder.
He just fouled out for Anton Williams Jr. That would be his 5th foul, and he is done in this game. So Shama Scott looking to complete the 3-point play. So great run here so far by the Bulldogs to get it to 4, but Shaker has answered the call, and hitting the 3-point play has now extended their lead to 12.
That's a foul. Yep. Be shooting 1-on-1.
And who'd they get? Did they get mud on that one?
Yeah.
No, they did not. It's going against Shama Scott. It'll be his 2nd.
Anytime you have someone on the floor with the ball and there's a grab or a jump on or anything, it's going to be automatic.
Well, we've got the Medina Bees down underneath the basket here, out watching the end of this one. As that free throw is off the mark by Brent Walker Jr. There's a turnover. Feed, but look at Shaker battling after that ball to get it back. And there's a wonderful pass ahead. Oh, he went for the dunk and missed, and we're going to get Danny Young Jr. on the foul as he elevated up. Just a good, hard basketball play there. But the missed dunk, the layup would have maybe closed this one out, but instead there's a little bit of life here.
How did Dakota Cochran get that ball
out of there from the floor and get it clear to half court to a wide open man? And coach is going to give him a little talking to now for that attempt right there. He said, hey, just lay that ball in.
We'll take the 2 points and the clock running. Right now the clock stopped. McKinley's at the line with a chance to trim into this lead.
And Johnson started slow. No points in the first, had 6 in the third.
But it all started.
Or 6 in the second. And
Shaker got the ball in the corner. And they took one dribble and picked it up.
Yeah.
Took one dribble, you don't go anywhere and you pick it up. I can hear coaches screaming all over the state when that happens.
A nice give and go, and now they're pushing the numbers. They pull it back out. Little short jumper, no good. He could have had that pass inside, I think.
I'm not sure Coach Young wants that. We got a timeout, McKinley.
Heads up play, he was in the trap and didn't know what to do with it, knew he needed the extra possession, so called the timeout. So a 10-point game. This is a must. Whatever you drop here, you've got to come away with points here in this one.
You do, and it's the point of the game where we're telling everyone, too, McKinley's telling their team, crash the offensive boards, everybody.
Yeah.
We don't care about who's back. We don't care if we get called for jumping on someone's back on a rebound.
Right.
We've got to go.
Yeah. And at what point do you try to extend this game? I mean, they're because of your foul situation, they're shooting 2. So do you go another minute before you start to think that?
Well, I think you do, but unless you have some absolutes. If you have someone that's an absolute on Shaker's team that you know you want at the free throw line, you know everyone didn't look happy when Eric Mudd took that jumper. So if McKinley says anytime Eric Mudd touches the ball, we're going to slap his arm to get him at the line, you may have an absolute in that situation where there's a guarantee if so-and-so touches the ball, we are going to attack him and foul him.
Yeah, right now it's not going to be Danny Young Jr. He's 9 for 10. Dakota Cochran, I take that back. Alec Benson was at the line. He made both of his. And then Dakota Cochran is 4 of 6 at the free throw line. So those right now pretty good free throw shooting.
Yeah, Shaker's done a great job at the line tonight. I'm not sure if you're McKinley, if you want to start that right now, but maybe they know some inside stats that say, hey, we know we want to get this guy to the line late in the game for the other team.
It's still early enough. They get instead we see the 3 go up. I was going to say plenty of time to do those backdoor cuts, and we've got a foul. They're going the other way, shooting 2. Let's see who it's on. And they're going to get number 11. That's Xavier Black. Picks up his 2nd. Going to send Danny Young Jr., as I just mentioned, here in this second half, 9 to 10 at the free throw line. He hits the first. Hits the second. Just been perfect almost at that free throw line.
He's been steady.
Oh, look at the defense, the reach. Johnson looking to drive, kicked it to the outside for that three. A needed three, and they hit it and get the quick timeout. Allows them to set up their defense for that full court press as James McCullough Jr. dials it in from long distance. He has 13 in the game for the Bulldogs.
Danny Young Jr. has done an amazing job at the free throw line this evening, and you're getting to the point of the game where you really can't have anyone in that is a liability at the free throw line. It makes it very difficult to have them in the game. If you're McKinley right now, you're drawing up that play, you're saying, hey, we're probably going to trap first pass, maybe second pass, and then we're going to take chances, and if we foul taking chances, we foul.
Yeah. Now, they hit that three. Are you sold? You want the quick two, or are you all threes from here on out?
You got to get any points you can get. I don't think you can be picky. I don't think you have to. I think the possession before the three was a bit rushed. You're always going to be able to get a rushed three.
Right.
You can always get an off-balance three. Work it for a couple seconds, swing the ball, get some movement, because we've seen when McKinley's made the extra pass, they've gotten a layup, or they've gotten that clean look on the left side from the wing.
Do you see that too?
Oh, that's a nightmare as a referee. Oh, that's so tough.
You'll be laughing at this for you folks at home, the extracurricular between Brent Walker and Eric Mudd. And there's
Brent Walker was just walking over and untucking Eric Mudd's shirt, or just reaching out and grabbing him, and just nothing flagrant. It's just one of those things. He's doing it to annoy him. It was working.
Just to try to get in his head.
And as a referee, you're watching, you're just sitting there thinking, why? Like, that just makes the job so difficult.
So Danny Young Jr. back at the free throw line. Oh, when it's your night, it's your night. He gets every part of that rim. (13 of 14 for that young man, all in the second half. Has 20 points in the ball game.
That's what good guards do. It's not a carry. Everyone's screaming. Oh,
that's a body.
Yep.
Playing good defense, Shama Scott, but able to draw the body and head to the free throw line will be Xavier Black. There's the first time you could hear a coach on our side of the floor. That was Coach Young screaming for someone to take a charge.
He's right. We've seen one attempt at a charge, I believe, this evening, and we've seen one charge called. The referees are going to reward good defense.
And the kind of night it is. We just watched Danny Young get every piece of the rim over there in the fall, and here this side Xavier Black every piece of the rim and can't go in. That kind of night for McKinley. Comes back with that second one. That's all 3 points he scored has been from the free throw line. I mean, regardless of the outcome, the intensity that both these teams have shown has been fantastic. Xavier Black gets called for the foul and sends Shama Scott to the line. This is, other than the three-point play, the second time to the free throw line for Scott. Scott hits.
Take care of the basketball, make free throws at the end. I mean, build that lead early. That's the recipe.
You're exactly right. It's a textbook on how to win a game here tonight from Shaker.
It is, and you know, and there's still a minute 59 left, so anything can happen. But the free throws are going to be very distorted in the fact that Shaker most likely will shot a lot more than McKinley, and the reason for that is here at the end of the game. What's happening?
Balling up off the mark. Wow, bodies flying everywhere, and we got a hard hit on the floor. Hopefully he's okay. Getting up slowly, that was James McCullough Jr. took a hard hit on that hip. Not only does he get hurt, and the foul gets called on him. You know, the quiet thing that we haven't even talked about here tonight is the job Alex Benson has done on Kobe Johnson. He's been guarding him here this whole second half for sure, and has really made Kobe work for everything he's had tonight.
Yes, the moves Kobe's made a few times when he's gotten the lane, a shot he's hit here and there, he's looked great, but Alex Benson has done a tremendous job making his life difficult this evening.
And again, the free throw. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, it just takes someone to buy into that system and to buy into that job. I mean, not every kid is cut out for the job of, hey, your job is to face guard. Your job is to make his life miserable this evening. And that's what that's what he's doing right now. But that also shows the respect that Shaker has for Kobe Johnson, that they're willing to say, all right, we're going to take one and we're going to play you 4-on-4 in essence in the half-court set, because they know how good Kobe Johnson is.
And there's the free throw put up and in by C.J. Hall. Again, touching on the Shaker free throw shooting, 24 of 27 from the free throw line for Shaker here this evening.
They will take that every night.
And again, I'll give you the tabulations on that after the miss.
We're going to go to the other end and shoot a few more.
Yeah, add to that. And then the other end, 15 of 23 from the free throw line for the Bulldogs. Back of the iron, no good for Cochran. He has 25 points on the night. And missed that one.
So he knew he missed it too. He went and tried to get it right away.
So the Bulldogs need a basket, and they need it quick.
They got it.
Get it. C.J. Hall says he's not done yet. Buries the three. He's now got 15 points in the ball game, and the lead back to 10 with 1:17 to go. So now you're thinking turnover, no turnover, then you foul.
Well, you're out of timeouts. So first and the last thing you're going to say to the kids is don't call timeouts, number one.
I'm glad you found that over there. It's taken me till now to figure out that's where they had the timeouts. I've been looking all over the arena tonight, and it's behind us.
I've been keeping them in my head.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. So we have no timeouts. Number two, we've got to let it all hang out everywhere. You have to let it all hang out and go get it wherever they are. We're going to need two guys to run at the ball. We're going to need a couple guys hanging out, playing center field, and we have to create turnovers. That's the only way that this league can get cut into.
And this is a chance, if you're Shaker, if you see it, you take advantage of an opening and attack.
I think you have to.
There's a point to slow down, you wait on the foul, but I think if you got that opening deep or you find someone cutting, no sense dribbling it out, just score your points and keep going.
Shaker has shot free throws
incredibly.
They've done a great job this evening. That being said, I still think Coach Young would take a layup with the clock running rather than free throw attempts with the clock stopped. They're going deep.
And there it was.
Dakota Cochran.
He got fouled. And that's going to be foul number 5. That's going to go against Brent Walker Jr. And he's going to be done. So right now they're shooting 89% from the free throw line as Cochran will head there. So heading out, Brent Walker Jr., he finished with just 2 points on the night as he got in foul trouble early.
Coach Vlahovic had a little talk with him there as he came to the bench. You know, he's a 6'6" junior. He's coming back next year, so that's a exciting thing for them to think about, a key piece that does return.
And Cochran hits on that.
You know, when you think about Walker and Kobe Johnson being juniors, I mean, they're going to be set up to have a good class returning for next year.
I think that ball knocked away as Cochran had it, and somehow out of that scrum, C.J. Hall comes away with it and puts it in. So back down to 10. And he's going to get Hall on a little bit of the push. And send Cochran to the line, and under a minute and a 10-point lead. That could kind of put this one away, I think, if he can put them both in.
Yep, if he can put them both in. There's a lot of pressure that still happened for McKinley. They were looking to create turnovers. There was a lot of contact in the backcourt.
I mean, I think if you're fans of either team, I mean, unfortunately, you know, you'd hate to see anyone lose, but I think both teams here tonight, you know, played fantastic basketball, and it was a great game to watch, and watch the battle, and like you said, the no quit from McKinley to battle their way back. Actually got it to within 4 points here late in this one, but just couldn't hold on to close that gap anymore.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to be talking about for McKinley, is that first quarter where they just fell down by 14.
That three is going to be off the mark. And still bodies on the floor.
It's going to be a foul on 0.
Diving in there for the loose ball.
Yeah, Kobe Johnson, it's going to be a foul. He dove in, took his legs out. Have guys end up on the floor. Coach Vlahovic, I think, wants a technical, is trying to get it. But anytime you have someone dive in and go after something, but then you displace or you move someone or someone ends up on the floor, it's going to be a foul. A lot of people say, how can you call that? He was going for the ball. Well, what if I'm going for the ball and I throw you into the third row? Should that be a foul too?
Yeah.
I mean, so a lot of people don't like seeing it because it's a hustle play, and they don't think fouls should be called on what we term hustle plays.
Yeah.
But it's a foul.
Not just because you're sitting next to me. I thought these officials did an excellent job with the intensity and everything that was brought to the table here tonight. They let them play enough, let it be a physical game, but not out of control.
These guys did a great job, and they've done a great job. They got 40.5 seconds to go. They're going to want to go to the end. There'll be some plays they want to look at, some plays they want to see again. But I'll tell you what, from an officiating perspective, this is a tough game to work, and I'll tell you why. You have a situation where you have a halftime lead of 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
So you have one team up 20, and then the next thing you know, the team flips the switch, and they come out and it's intense. So it went from being one team taking over to now this team's coming back and battling.
Right.
And you have to stay locked in and focused the whole time. And I thought these guys did a good job of not getting swept up and caught up in the moment.
Oh, absolutely. And just both teams aggressive, flying to the basketball. I think if you're a coach and want to show this game film to anyone, just the intensity at which they approach the defensive side of things.
Yeah, again,
good.
I think McKinley will take a look at that first quarter, maybe some of that first half, and say, that start. And we see it happen all the time, and it happens in high school sports and college sports and pro sports. For whatever reason, sometimes teams don't get off to the start that they envision, that they want to, with the intensity and the fire that they'd be hoping for. I think the Medina Bees are chomping at the bit over there. They've been over there about 10, 15 minutes dribbling,
just waiting,
spinning basketballs.
Men are right over here behind us, just kind of watching as well. So McKinley, the ball, 40 seconds left to go here.
The one thing Shaker Heights has done is they have guaranteed by winning this game that the GCC will be represented in Columbus.
That's right.
Because the winner
of the next game is both GCC teams, so guaranteed is they'll reach that semifinal. That, yeah, you're exactly right, that we will have a representative in Columbus.
And I think that's a testament to the league, up and down the league. Every night in that league, it takes max effort to win.
Yeah, I'll break down here as we count down the final seconds.
Danny Young Jr. dribbling it out. in a hard-fought 83-71 victory for Shaker Heights.
Yeah, real quick breakdown. Your scoring for Canton McKinley as we work this through here. For McKinley, Kobe Johnson, he finished with 20 points after scoring 0 points in that first quarter. Battleback scored 20. He was followed by C.J. Hall, who had 17 in the game. Then you had Amarian Herring, who had an excellent third and fourth quarter, had 6 points in the game. Brent Walker Jr. finished with 2 points in the game. Anton Williams Jr. had 10. And then you had Xavier Black with 3. And James McCullough Jr., 13 points for those Bulldogs. As we break down the scoring here for Shaker Heights, coming away victorious. I'll give you your thoughts while I tally up some of those numbers for you.
Well, I think Shaker Heights is going to go back. They're going to go back, and they're going to be happy with the effort in the first half. They're going to say, we did what we want to do. We got out, we ran, we got after it. They are going to take a look at that second half and talk about what broke down to allow McKinley back in the game. What did they do different? What adjustments could have been made defensively to stop some of those runs? And I think they'll take a look at the offensive end, and they'll say, they'll talk about having to make sure of taking care of the basketball when you're up 20. You have to take care of the ball. You can't let the other team create off your turnovers.
Yeah, break down your scoring real quick. It was Shama Scott with 15 points. Danny Young Jr. finished with 21. Dante Benjamin with 4. Jade Walker with 3. Dakota Cochran, can't say enough about the game he played here tonight. 28 points in that one. Eric Mudd with 6, and also Alex Benson with 6 points. Broke down your scoring for Shaker Heights, who's going to love a third-time matchup with one of these two teams that just took onto the floor to get a warm-up.
Yeah, I mean, and you mentioned Dakota Cochran. We talked about him a lot tonight, but his energy and intensity carried them through the first half and was the spark for them to jump out that big lead.
We talked about not having a large crowd to get that intensity and that emotion. I think the spark that he brought to the team by the actions really helped push them through that.
You know, and I think as we're watching these two teams warm up, Menor and Medina, you know, you can't as a player say, I need the crowd to get me going. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to say in yourself, this is what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. This is what we fought and battled for, and they know what's on the line.
Well, a great season by Canton McKinley Bulldogs comes to an end. And congratulations to Shaker Heights, who advances to the next round to face the winner of our next game live here on Medina TV between Menor and Medina. So again, your final here in game number 1, it was Shaker Heights 83, Canton McKinley 71. For Rob Walgate, Jared Fry, Summer Gray, Matt Tomek, Georgia Nielsen, and Jason Barros, all of our crew here at Medina TV. We're glad you tuned in for game 1. Stay tuned. We'll be back with game 2 momentarily. Good evening. Welcome to Game 2 here at the Wolstein Center. And if it's going to be anything like that first game, we're in for a great matchup tonight as the round 2 of the GCC Conference. Shaker Heights advancing in our earlier game, 83-71. And now we're waiting the outcome now as these two teams match up for the third time yet again between Menor and Medina. And what a great first 2 matchups they were.
Get your track shoes on. This should be a lot of fun. I look for both teams to get out and run and get after it.
Yeah, Medina had Menor. Menor coming off a great football season very early in the season at Medina. Beat them 94-81. And then you turn around, fast forward a little while, and here Menor had to take it right to the wire, hitting a buzzer beater to beat Medina 81-80 at Menor.
You know, and that's the last time they played, and I think that left a bad taste in Medina's mouth without a doubt. They had an 8-point lead under a minute to go. It's one they look back on and say, we should have closed. I know they responded well from that. They've handled it well, and I think a lot of the Bees are looking forward to get out and avenging that loss tonight. And the other end, you know, Menor's saying, hey, we should have got them the first time. We're coming off a football season. We weren't, you know, in basketball shape. So this is going to be fun. They're going to get after it.
And as I said, as you see below, I'm Jared Fry. This is Rob Walgate. For those of you that weren't in for the first game, we're glad to have you here tonight. Give our little correct bump there to get us going. And we're looking forward to this great matchup between these two teams. Really looking to get things going. Both teams explosive. As you just saw, as I mentioned, the scores, both teams easily can put this game into the 90s, and it will be a track meet. We thought the aggression was tough in that first game. I can't wait to see these two tip it off for the third time here at the Wolstein Center. And again, the crowd here on hand, the parents here on hand. It's a little different venue than what we're used to. It's not a packed house because of the governor's statements and the OHSAA stepping in on the side of caution and doing everything they could there. But there's a great amount of Medina and Menor fans here tonight to cheer them on.
Each student athlete and cheerleader was permitted 4 tickets, and so family were in. They weren't even letting you come in the parking garage if you were not on the list. So they didn't want you parking your car and taking a chance and trying working your way in. So it's a different feel, a different environment and atmosphere, but I think the kids on both these teams are going to, the hard-nosed kids are just going to get after it and they want to play. And this will be a bit different than the first game we saw tonight, Canton, McKinley, and Shaker Heights, in the sense that these two teams know each other so well. They know what the other's going to do. And it isn't a matter of, well, they do this, so we'll do that. No, they're both going to do what they do and tell the other team, stop us.
Right.
That's the way you're going to have to win.
And that's one, Medina, a very balanced team. If you've never had a chance to see Medina before, they have any guy that can step up on a given night and be the leading scorer. So you can't just focus defensively on one player and just hope you're going to get the job done that way. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to be that player tonight for Medina. Kyle Shumsky, one of those on the borderline, depending on the point outcome here tonight, of possibly becoming the all-time leading scorer in Medina history. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one as the night proceeds. Looking to pass Dante Anthony as the leading scorer in Medina history. For Menor, a team that battles hard and has a good trio of players to go to, that we'll have to keep an eye on here tonight and see what we can do there. As you see them getting introduced right now.
One of the thrills about making it to the regional, they're going to introduce the entire squad. Everyone will take a little lap, fist bumps. They're shaking hands out there.
Yeah, Hassinger not afraid there. He's shaking hands. He's not heeding any of the advice. He probably has some sanitizer over on the bench, I'm sure, to help with that situation.
These kids, it's really been an intense, roughly 30 hours for them.
Absolutely.
Getting word that you're not going to be permitted to come and watch the game as the general public. Hey, what 4 family members would you like to attend the game? Hey, they still, you have to go to school, you're in class all day. Then you come down here. These guys are ready to play. Then they had to sit and watch the first game. Yeah. Both buses arrived around 5:30. First game tipped at 6:15. So they've been here and they're ready to get after it.
Yeah, definitely are, and got to see Shaker as head come away victorious. They got to scout that. It's not like it's not a team you haven't seen before. This is the 3rd time now that they'll see each other, and the 3rd time they'll see Shaker, whoever wins here. But like you said in our first game, this is now guaranteed a spot that you will see a team from the GCC in Columbus.
Yeah, that league was tough up and down all year, and it is a guarantee to have a representative in Columbus, and I know that's a great thing for the conference.
All right, well, we're set to get this one underway. It's going to be Christian Howard Caffey. He'll be jumping up against Chad Rogers. You have Rogers, Luke Chacon, Caleb Pikes, and that tips up, going to be hit twice. What do we get there?
So we had a violation. We had someone leave before the ball was tapped. It's a violation.
So Medina ball, and that was
Medina ball.
Kyle Culler that left a little early. So men are out in their man-to-man. You have Spencer Aylward with the ball, kicks it to Corey Tripp. Tripp hangs in the air, can't get it, gets his own rebound, goes up again. Great pass to Howard Caffey. Found him inside, he couldn't convert. So much like that first game, a little jitters there up close to the rim.
We saw that in game number 1. We saw a couple attacks early, right at the rim, bounce off the rim. But we also saw the guys convert about a minute and a half later once they got it in.
Well, that's something you usually don't see. Kyle Shumsky in the post, took that post shot, couldn't convert. And the rebound pulled down, and now Menor their first possession.
Talked to Coach Haas before the game. I'm thinking about that first series that Medina had at that end. And one of the things he hit on, he said, hey, we just have to make shots. We're going to get looks. We have to make shots.
That'll be a good matchup there between Rogers and Shumsky. And Rogers is going to put the three up, way off the mark.
Good D by Kyle. He got a hand in there.
And Kyle got out ahead, called for the ball. Rotate. Tripp drives in. Good hesitation and finishes. So the first points of the game, Corey Tripp.
Corey Tripp showing off that strength. Got a jump stop, went up. He initiated the contact, no foul, but he's able to finish through it.
Good ball movement by Menard. Finishes with Rogers. He couldn't convert. Howard Caffey the rebound. Tripp head up on the floor. He has Sartain in the corner. Nope, they held up. Aylward looks to drive. Now to Sartain. Back to Shumsky. Good job by Menard. Good defensive effort.
Jake Sell, Keith Moyer, and Ken McLean are your officials this evening in this regional semifinal game.
I think they're going to get the foul on number 2, Luke Chacon. His first, team's first. Tripp with the left hand this time, got grabbed on the arm. This time it's going to go against number 3, Kyle Kohler.
The strength of Corey Tripp. He turns the corner, he gets into the lane. You have to make a decision. What are you going to do? You got to move those feet, square up, get in front of him and attempt to take that charge. If not, he's going to power through. And your only option is to grab his arm.
And he'll hit that free throw. And again, the strength. He had the ball in his right arm, switched to that left to try to get the three-point play. And hits the second. So all 4 points in the game from Corey Tripp. And that's where we stand now with 6:17 to go here in the first. Glad you could join us here at Medina TV's coverage of the Ohio High School playoffs.
Medina switches a lot of screens. They're going to switch a lot on any action up top.
High banking shot just off the mark as that was put up by Luke Floria. And Medina the other way. Tripp thought about the three, hesitates. Now pull up from the elbow. Front of the rim, no good. Cappy with a strong rebound. He's going to go up strong and finish. He really had the last 2 playoff games has really had an excellent coming out party as far as being a threat on the offensive boards and putbacks.
Christian Howard Caffey with that putback. One of the things I asked Coach Krasancic, I talked to him before the game started, what are the keys? He said, we have to control the boards. We have to keep Medina off the boards. So I know he's not going to be happy with that previous possession.
Oh, Doug was good defense and tried to reach around behind and just gave an easy foul.
So many times you're in great position. Your hands get you in trouble. Keep them back. There's no need to reach. There's no need to slap.
And what you see, the wholesale substitutions by Medina. You'll have Matt Spatney, Jack Hagan, and Brandon Geschke check into the game.
You know, in talking with Coach Hass, that's another thing that he mentioned is in the Walsh game in the district final, they weren't able to use the bench the way they envisioned because it was a zone defense. It was a slow-down game. Here against Menor, he mentioned that the bench better be ready to play because they're going to get opportunities because guys will get winded as they run.
Good crossover moving them behind the back. We got a deep three up and hits. For the first points of the game, Caleb Picks, with the three. Geschke to Spatney. Spatney waits to hand that off to Shumsky. Shumsky thinks about the three. He'll pull up just inside the arc and hit the jumper. Just a smooth stroke from the young man.
Always in rhythm, always balanced. Kyle Shumsky can hit that shot, but that's what Menor does.
Yep.
You can't, against the Menor Cardinals, you can't celebrate because they're going to come back and attack. They're going to get shots in the air.
That was Kyle Kohler not hesitating to answer and hits the three. What a pass by Spatney to a cutting Shumsky. He's going to get the and one. Caleb Picks with the foul. Beautiful pass by Spatney.
Great look and offensive execution. And that's the thing about Medina. And Menor's the same way. They can kill you inside, they can kill you outside. So you're going to have to pick your poison and ask yourself, what are we going to do our best to take away? I know Coach Brzezancic's not going to be happy that an entry pass was made such as that to a cutting Shumsky.
Kyle's off the mark. A rare miss for Shumsky at the free throw line. Juwan Jackson had checked in during that rotation. Another deep three, followed his own shot. Rolls off the rim, Spatney the strong board, kicks it out to Jackson. Jackson bounce passes ahead to Shumsky. Shumsky 1-on-2. He'll pull it up from the elbow. off the rim, rebound by Rogers, and here comes Menor the other way. Like we said, this could turn into a track meet quickly.
Sure is fun to watch.
The wide open look at the three, deep, no good. Just a long rebounds goes Menor way. They'll get another look at three, and no good. The ball tipped by Geschke, tried to get it, couldn't come away with it, and then they feed it inside to Rogers. Rogers can't hit, and we get a whistle and a foul. I think they're going to get Hagan on that. Little contact with the body.
Not sure Coach Krasancic heard the whistle. He was.
I didn't hear it either.
He was moving towards midcourt.
So Hagan will draw the foul, and it's going to send number 11 Chad Rogers to the line.
2 offensive rebounds for Menor on that trip alone. That's going to leave something to be talked about.
And quick substitutions as that second squad comes out. Well, almost. Shumsky gets his breather with him. As Spatney stays in.
So Menor's going to throw pressure, but if you notice the last time down, once you get past that initial wave, Medina can look to push and continue going. They're going to get some clean looks. If Menor doesn't get that steal on that initial attempt, you're going to have numbers in transition.
And Tripp gets that ball, and like you said, Menor just backs up. Hand off to Sartain. Spatney can't wait on that. He gets lucky there. Kicks it out to Aylward for three. No good. Rogers, the strong rebound from Menor, and they're looking to run.
Here they go, filling lanes.
A deep three. Front of the rim, no good. Aylward there for the rebound. He's looking to push. He's got Sartain across court. Hits him. The three's up. No good. Aylward battling for the rebound. Again, it comes away. That was Luke Chacon. He pushes it ahead. Floria on the wing. Little hesitation. They swing it. The extra pass. The three. No good. Spatney the rebound. Good job by the Bees to keep him one shot and out after not doing so well early on. That one, Rogers just strips it away from Tripp. They got 2-on-1. Spatney elevates, and the ball's put in and finished. That's Luke Chacon.
Great defense at this end by Cale Gray for Menor. Kept his body in front of Corey, helped create the turnover. Oh.
Spatney gets called for the illegal screen.
Luke Chacon ran into him, and Matt Spatney's arm goes in the air, and anytime you're setting a screen and your arms elevate and someone goes down, it's going to be a foul. Some may be watching and saying, if they aren't familiar with these teams, number one, there's been a lot of threes fired. And number two, even in transition, they fire threes. Thinking about last time, that three, Doug Sartain, we can tell you that's what these squads do, and that's what they're going to do for all 4 quarters tonight.
And they could go 0 for 15, but it's not going to stop them. They'll fire it from deep and fire often. And just as we say that, we get a drive inside and a finish. Chacon puts it in, now has 4 points in the game, and Menor takes their first lead. Aylward, a spin move, couldn't convert, and here comes Menor again.
Good move, but you got to finish.
And Harlow draws it, but it's a block. He was trying to set up on the charge as he knew Rogers was going to spin. And as Rogers spun, he went down. The officials call it the block. Definitely have the Menor student section behind us tonight. Although I guess I couldn't say student section. It must be their fans and family, friends and family here. Oh. Howard Caffey comes away with the ball.
Way to run.
Feed and way to run the floor, like you were just going to say.
Everyone loves to see when the big guys run the floor, right? And they get rewarded. Corey Tripp with a great dump off to Christian Howard Caffey.
And that's actually a part of their game, both him and Kyle Shumsky, that people don't realize as that three's going to go up and Tripp with the rebound, is how good of passers they are. Caffey takes it up top. He's going to hand it right back off to Shumsky now. A reset at the Spencer. Tripp cuts back door.
He's got to count.
I say he's got to watch that count.
Yeah, we had a count. We had a count.
Tripp backed up to create the space to break that count. Edward comes up and takes it. Now it's down to the final 37 seconds. Edward kicks it. Caffey was out on that perimeter.
They're doing a little pause. They're doing a little holding it. But if they have a layup, they're going to take it. So if you fall asleep, Medina's going to look to attack.
And usually it's right here on that drive. Sartain thought about the three, just couldn't get the ball clean, but Tripp, the quick grab and took it to the hole strong. Couldn't convert. Nice rebound pulled down by Caleb Picks. And here comes Menor the other way with 10 seconds to go. Oh, the good drive and the extra pass found Rogers.
If Chacon and Floria are able to get in the lane, those things are going to happen. Dump offs to the block. The key is going to be able to keeping Chacon and Floria out of the lane.
Yeah, so Menor, a little bit of a slow start, but come away with the 2-point lead here at the end of one. Leading the way, you had Luke Chacon with 4 points in that game in the first quarter. Kyle Kohler had 3. You had 4 from Chad Rogers and 3 from Caleb Picks. Breaks down your scoring for Menor. Medina, 4 points from Kyle Shumsky, 4 points from Christian Howard Caffey, and 4 points from Corey Tripp.
Up and down first quarter, they got after it, and that's what they're going to continue to do for the rest of the game.
Surprisingly low scoring at 14-12.
Well, they got shots up. That's
yeah,
for
they
sure.
definitely did.
They got some shots up, and I think as you see nerves settle, I think as you see them adjust to the flow of the game, you will start to see those shots drop. We had a number of shots missed at the basket.
Menor with the basketball to start this second quarter. Geschke all over that, had the ball, and now they get it, and now they have the numbers. Hagan away on his own. He'll finish. Jack Hagan, his first 2 of the game.
Both these teams get after it defensively. Jack Hagan creating havoc up top.
Chacon, the strong drive off the glass, no good. Caffey, the rebound, somehow got it to Tripp, who kicks it ahead to Geschke. Back to Tripp, who has the lane, drives in and draws the block, and one.
Again, the strength of Corey Tripp finishing at the rim. That's an instance where I think the blocking foul was called because there was no need for the defender to fall.
Right.
The defender took contact on the shoulder. There was no need to fall. If he stays vertical, it's probably not a whistle on the play. But they fall. And so there's a whistle.
And also because Tripp kind of took that side step to the right to kind of,
he avoided contact. His goal, it was not offensive initiated contact at all. But so many times, anytime there's contact, someone falls and there's no need to fall. And then we saw it at the other end when we had a blocking foul call on a spin move.
Drive down the middle, and somehow between the 2 defenders, Chacon puts it up and in.
Great move, great finish at the rim.
Geschke tried to wrap that pass, got a little behind him, and Caffey couldn't come up with it. Substitutions for Menor, number 25, Caleb Picks, and Andrew Smith, number 40, check in for Menor. Juwan Jackson checks in for Corey Tripp. Chacon goes baseline, and again converts. Chacon having his way, driving to the lane, and Medina will take a timeout as Chacon now has 8 in the game.
Coach Hassinger is getting on his team regarding the help defense. You know Luke Chacon's he's gonna attack and he's gonna look to blow by his man, and when he does, someone's got to be there at that next level to help on defense.
Yeah, defense, they're trying to push him to the baseline, and that you're exactly right. That's where that weak side's got to come across and help.
Make them beat, I think both teams are going to say, make them beat us with ball movement. Don't let them beat us by getting to the rim and finishing. And that's what happened at that end. That's what happened at the other end with Corey Tripp. So I think both coaches are going to say, let's help one another out. Both teams are filled with athletes. We've got to move our feet, and we've got to help each other out.
So Medina with the basketball. Shumsky gets it in. Being guarded by Caleb Picks. Keshke gets a handoff. Looking for some help. Caffey comes up and takes it, hands it back off to Shumsky, gives the screen, rolled off of it, he was open. Jackson hesitates, kicks it up to Geschke. He'll take the three from the top. He hits.
The extra pass gets the clean look.
And I like to see that because a few games ago for Medina, sometimes he passed that shot up, and coach actually pulled him out of the game a few times about that.
We happened to be sitting behind the bench when that happened, and he pulled him out and gave him a talking to about passing up clean looks.
So good to see that. And there's someone who hasn't passed up a clean look tonight, but couldn't get that one to fall with Chacon. And Shumsky tied him up for the jump ball. Good job by Shumsky as he tied that up. And possession arrow in favor of Medina.
Again, Chacon got to the rim. And there was, and he went and he attacked Juwan Williams, and there's going to have to be a big that rotates over that helps in those situations.
They didn't do a substitution right here, Rob? They made Hagan come back into the game and Aylward sit out. So he must not made it up to the table correctly?
I'm not 100% sure what happened on that one. Yep. Good step through
move by Hagan.
That's a move where a travel's called a lot of the time. But remember, it's not a travel when you lift your pivot foot. It's a travel when your pivot foot hits the floor again. Good move.
That's off the mark. Shumsky with the ball.
Now, one thing Luke Chacon...
Caffey's got the mismatch. If they can feed him in low, there they do, but a triple team now.
Put it on the floor.
Loses the handle on it. Geschke will pull it up from the elbow. Missed that. Caffey's there for the rebound. Goes up. Can't get it to fall. The ball still battered around. Hagan comes away with it. And there's hands in there. Interesting to see who it is, though. And they get Andrew White on the foul.
Coach Krzancic saying we want the same thing down there. I'll give you my opinion on the difference. The difference in Menderson, when Chacon got to the rim, he was leaning in and initiating a contact. This contact occurred after offensive rebounds. We mentioned Chris Howard Caffey put it on the floor. He probably shouldn't have put it on the floor, but then the ball spills out. Jack Hagan ends up with it, and you have people grabbing and pulling. So slapping down is much different than staying vertical.
Misses that second free throw.
Good hands from behind by Corey Tripp. Floria turned the corner. Corey, great hands. Menner's looking to switch. They don't want Rogers on Tripp.
Strong take by Aylward. That's going to be the foul on Rogers.
Spencer Aylward's always going to attack the basket. He looks to create contact and get to the line.
Aylward puts it in. Jaden Clark checks in for the Bees. Gives Caffey a breather. And Aylward hits the second. Aylward's first 2 points of the game. And back up with it, Luke Floria bringing it up to start it, the offense for Menor. A lot of communication as they try to get the offense set. They're trying to ISO out for Rogers. He's matched up on Aylward. Takes it in strong. The floater hits. Good spin move by Rogers. Rogers now with 6 points. And they just called Tripp for a carry.
Coach Hassinger's having a little talk with him about that. I think it caught them all by surprise. Everyone heard the whistle, but they weren't sure what it was. Jaden Clark is over there looking to face guard Luke Chacon.
Switching by the Bees, and nice dribble and drop back. And he hits the three. There's Chacon. So Chacon on fire here for the Cardinals, for Menor.
Luke Chacon, I know Jared Calhoun, the head coach of Youngstown State, is smiling every time he sees him finishes. That's where he'll be headed to play.
Tripp answers with a jump shot
for his collegiate career.
Jaden Clark will draw the foul.
I think that's one thing you got to be careful of. There's definitely a foul there. He's definitely grabbed. But so many times, the one thing I hate that has leaked its way into the game is every time a guard seems to be breathed on, someone throws their head back like they just got. I mean, and everyone does it. So I'm not trying to pick on one kid, but so many kids do it to try and draw a foul.
There's only 5 team fouls. I'm not sure why they're talking a one-on-one there. Okay, they got it worked out. And I look back, it had it 5. Medina with 4 teams fouled, Menor with 5. I'm sorry, the other way around. Medina with 5, Menor with 4.
Yeah. So Menor has 6, Medina has 5. If that foul would have been on Menor, it would have been 1-1. But
correct. Rebound by Spatney off the miss. And looking to push his Tripp. Oh, he dribbled it, lost it, but luckily Sartain was there to scoop it up. And he's going to pull up the 3. All around the rim, no good. Rogers the rebound. Rogers will take the 3, top of the key, no good. Chomsky the rebound.
Both these squads in rhythm. Everyone has the green light from everywhere.
Sartain, no good. And Sartain uncharacteristically off on his 3s here tonight. Wide open lane, driving and taking advantage of it. Tripp goes up, but he's going to get called with the foul.
That's what Menor does. They're going to attack. They're going to continue to attack. Floria gets down the lane. He's going to create contact and end up at the line.
So Tripp will draw the foul. That's his first. He's 6th. Howard Caffey checks back in for Medina. Spatney heads to the bench, and coming in for Menor. The miss on the free throw.
Medina's already played 10 guys. They've went 10 deep. I think Menor's has went 9. With 10 at the table, so. So that's 2 on Corey Tripp. He comes out of the game, and most likely, barring a offensive-only possession late in the half, we won't see him again. And
Chacon with Geschke on him, off to Rogers. And a nice drive and layup put up and in.
That was offensive execution. That was well done by Menor to get the clean look.
That was Floria who finished that. Tripp hands off to Sartain. Thought about the 3, resets it to Chomsky. And Chomsky's going to get the grab. That foul's going to go against number 21, Andrew White. That's his 2nd.
He's going to go to the line, 1-1. And this is where, when you have the opportunity for both teams, when you're playing against a Menor or Medina and they give you the option of making free points, you have to take advantage. So these foul shots are going to be crucial, especially when you're in a 1-1 situation. But that's an instance you're 28 feet from the hoop. There's no need to grab. I'm sure Coach Krasancik's telling them stay low and guard.
In and out of the rim, no good on Shumsky's free throw. Rogers pulled down the rebound. Howard Caffey at the scorer's table, waiting to come in at the next stop. Good patience by Menor here offensively. Floria trying to set up. Rogers dribbling against Spatney. And Rogers will pull up the three. No good. Strong rebound by Chacon. He missed, got his own rebound. Hagan comes away with it. Both players flopping there as they go by. Hand off to Spatney. Spatney can't finish, but we got a foul.
He got slapped. Oh, and now we got a dead ball contact technical. It looks like it's going to go against Jack Hagan. Spatney got slapped on the way up.
And I think that foul's against Rogers. We'll let him clear that up here. We'll see.
Spatney's going to shoot 2. Then we're going to go to the other end and shoot a dead ball contact technical. Menor's going to get the ball at midcourt.
They call Luke Floria on the foul for Menor. So it should be Spatney shooting first, like you said. And then we'll head the other way for the technical.
And Coach Hassinger wants an explanation. So what happened? The ball got loose. They got tied up, and one kid went to grab it and pulled it away. And I'm sure in the official's eyes he thought it was a throw, and that he was pushing a kid. So it has to be a dead ball contact technical in that situation.
And that's one of those, that's not anything we've seen out of Hagan all year.
Here's the deal. High school basketball, you got to get it right the first time.
Yep.
College or on TV is another level. Come over and look at it, and they can make a decision. And you've got to make that decision in a split second.
And a big swing there as Spatney missed the free throw, and then you turn around and have Chacon hit both of his, and now they'll get the basketball. So again, quietly, the Bees only have 1-3 at this point. Menor have been getting the job done more from that perimeter as they've hit for 3.
5-second call.
And Geschke, a nice job defensively to stop that turnaround of getting that extra possession off the technical.
And here we talked about Corey Tripp. We may see him on an offensive possession. Here he comes to play offense. But that's an uncharacteristic turnover for Luke Chacon, not being aware that there was a 5-second closely guarded count taking place.
Had to work on seeing who they were going to come in for. As we also had these new numbers. Get me Doug Sartain checking into the game. Aylward right down the lane and can't hit the layup. And then gives it to Chacon, missing the wide open layup as he had the lane. Looking for the ball, rotated in the corner. He's screaming for it in the corner.
Medina, you can't have a foul on Corey Tripp. That's what they're thinking. And Coach Hass has just said no fouls. They had him into playing offensive possession.
He's asking for the trap here to help Tripp out, so that way Tripp can fade off and not have to worry about guarding the ball handler, and that's what he got. If you're Menor, you go after Tripp here, I would think, and try to get that third on him.
Menor they want a bucket here, take some momentum into halftime. Right now, the arrow's in their favor. They'll get the ball to start the third quarter. So if they can score here, something to go in with a little momentum and talk about at the break.
So should see a shot go up as Rogers flies down the lane, can't get it to go. Tripp gets it knocked away, and the little floater falls at the buzzer. Hit by Kyle Kohler.
Coach Hassinger is livid. He felt like there was a foul on that rebound when the ball came shooting out. But that bucket, we talked about, that bucket's going to give Menor momentum heading into the break.
Absolutely, as the scoring picked up a little bit there. And we are 29-28 in favor of Menor. So a 15-point quarter for Menor, 16-point quarter for Medina. Run down some of the scores here for you. It was Luke Chacon just putting on an exhibition there. Had 9 points in that quarter. Had 4 in the first, so he has 13 heading into the half, leading the way for Menor. Kyle Collar has 5 points in the ball game right now. Luke Floria with 2. And then you've got Chad Rogers with 6. And Caleb Picks with 3. You're scoring for Menor. And what have you seen from Menor here in this first half?
Well, Luke Chacon. I mean, Menor's going to go as he goes. He's a very talented ball player, and Medina has to find a way to keep him out of the lanes, but in doing so, also not give him clean looks at 3, because he can hurt you both ways.
Right.
And when he turns the corner, you have to have someone there ready to help, but it has to be 2 layers of help, because you can't forget about Rogers, and he's going to be either sitting on the block or spotting up somewhere to hit as well. Menor and Medina both, they have so many weapons, but I think Menor goes as Chacon goes.
And I think shooting-wise, I think Menor definitely had the better shooting half. Medina, as I mentioned before, only 1-3. That's something uncharacteristic of this Medina team, and I think something Menor's thankful for at this point. Well, and at the same standpoint, not really getting a couple of good cuts. Howard Caffey running the floor a few times, able to take advantage of that, but just trying to get something going offensively. They already have 7 people in the books, so are getting that balanced scoring like we discussed at the beginning of the game. They're paced by Corey Tripp with 9, Jack Hagan with 5, 4 each for Howard Caffey and Shumsky, and then you've got 3 from Brandon Geschke, and 2 from Spencer Aylward, and 1 from Matt Spatney.
Yeah, if you would have told Medina and Coach Hasker before the game, you're going to hit 1-3 in the first half, I think he probably would have looked at you and said, we may be in for a long night.
Right. Well, then phrase that and say you're only going to be down 1.
Right. Now we'll take it, and from that they can build on. There's 16 minutes of basketball left. What can you do from this point forward? Now, there's some mistakes they have to make, there's some mistakes they have to correct from the first half, and some of those is just execution. We saw a couple missed layups that shouldn't have been missed layups at this level.
Which, surprisingly enough, I wouldn't have thought this, but now that we see the actual stats get passed around to us, 38% of field goal, 38% from the floor for Menor, 21% from 3. Medina, 41%, almost 42% for regular field goals, and 20% for 3, 1 for 5. So really, I was impressed looking at those numbers. I didn't think we'd have the higher field goal percentage.
Yeah, the thing that jumps at me is Medina turned the ball over 7 times to Menor's 4. You can't turn the ball over more than the other team and not have a great shooting night and expect to win. But Medina will be happy regarding, I know you just marked the rebounds, 2015 edge to Medina. I know they will be happy about that, but they won't be happy about giving up 4 offensive rebounds to Menor, because those lead to points.
Right. And Medina getting 6 offensive rebounds on their side with 14 defensive rebounds. And that's where you got to step up. And that's something this Medina team's usually good at, only allowing that one shot and having that weak side rebounder come across and rebound. But credit to Menor, they're crashing the board hard, and everyone's flying to the rim.
They're good. Both teams are very good, and it's going to be who can stop the other and who can execute when given the opportunity. How many times did we see maybe out of those 6 offensive rebounds that Medina wasn't able to convert and put it back?
Yeah.
Or they got a bad look when they tried to kick it out and do something with it. So it's going to come down to execution in the second half.
And really no one, Corey Tripp had the 2 fouls. That kind of goes out unless he picks up that 3rd one quick. For Luke Flory, the only other one with 2 fouls, and Andrew Witt with 2 fouls. So that's what you have right now with their situation. Free throw wise, shooting wise, as we mentioned, Chacon, the hot hand, he's 5 of 10 for field goals and 1 of 2 for threes, and 2 of 2 at the free throw line, pacing the way, as we said, with those 13 points. And there's a good shot of our crowd on hand here tonight for the regionals, semifinals. And again, of course, with the COVID-19 new statutes put in place, a lot different than what it looked like last night in all the arenas, as they were still holding to the normal rules and regulations. But here tonight, each athlete allowed to have immediate family up to 4 people in attendance for their tickets here tonight. And that's kind of what you see, the numbers down, a quieter gym. Everyone can be as vocal as they want, as we've heard from the group of Menor faithful behind us. And Gordon, there you see the shot right there, as you have the Menor crowd in the bottom of your screen and the Medina side on the top of your screen. Just a different feeling. I mean, let alone this is a very big venue to begin with, but to see it not nearly as full as it would be as if it was under normal conditions.
You know, Northeast Ohio, it's very unfortunate that was put in play, the restrictions that the governor talked about on Tuesday afternoon. It's very unfortunate because Northeast Ohio always turns out and supports this regional. And with these fan bases you would have had when you're looking at Medina, Mentor, McKinley, and Shaker, this place would have been packed.
Yeah, and it's just going to be an astonishing next few weeks just to see. I mean, just look what we've gone through in the last, like you said, the last 32 hours. But just the ramifications, and don't take this wrong. Everyone's taking the proper steps, doing the correct things, but just all the effects it has on it, from March Madness to this to now even schools and events, and if you want to go to a concert, just how everything will change from just how we live to even an economical standpoint, the impact it has on cities.
I flew to Florida on Monday morning. Mm-hmm. I flew home this afternoon. The airports, I couldn't believe how few people were in the airport, both in Cleveland and in Orlando on a Monday morning. The planes were under a third full. Mm-hmm. So it's having an impact, whether, I know a lot of people weren't happy with the decision. A lot of people want to be here watching live, but it's had an impact. And, of course, when it first came out, it was talked about it was a recommendation. The governor made a recommendation, and that's all it was. However, if you heard the governor's remarks today, it's gone beyond a recommendation, and there will be an order that goes out tomorrow. So I think what you'll see is no fans, at least in Ohio, at NBA or NHL games or college basketball games, of course, and that's why the NCAA has taken the steps that they've taken. I mean, the Big Ten has allowed fans in today, I believe, in Indianapolis, but they're not permitted the rest of the weekend.
Right.
So they've taken the step. I mean, people were already there in hotels and done everything, and they've taken the step to say it doesn't matter.
Well, and then just to watch the ramifications. I mean, if you do that for March Madness, what do you do with everyone that bought tickets? And now, granted, that's least of your concerns when you're trying to avoid something of this nature right now, but all things that are uncharted territory, and even here for the OHSAA, looking at what they do moving forward, even into their games on Saturday.
Well, the games on Saturday, and they've got state tournament games starting tomorrow on the girls' side. Right. You got Thursday, Friday, Saturday with the girls this week, and then you'll have regional finals on Friday and Saturday all around the state this weekend. So, I know it's not a decision that was made lightly. Again, it came down from the governor, and it has created much more work. I mean, I'm sure if you went and asked the 4 coaching staffs that took part this evening how hectic and stressful their lives have been over the past 30 hours just dealing with tickets.
I'll trump that athletic directors. If you're an athletic director right now for any Ohio high school team, you definitely have your hands full here tonight. As the Bees make their way back on, Mentor came on with just under 4 minutes to go here before we started the second half. Medina comes on with 1:29 to go here before we start the third quarter. All right, adjustments as you move forward. What's your biggest adjustment if you're Mentor?
Well, if you're Mentor, I think you have to, Medina's missed some layups at the hoop. I think you have to adjust and say, how are they attacking? How are they getting there, number one? Number two, I think, Coach Krasancic mentioned before the game that rebounding would be a key. They were out-rebounded by 5 that half. Medina has a 20-15 advantage, 6 of those being offensive boards. I think in this half, Coach Krasancic would like to see that number come down, especially on the offensive rebound side.
And I'd say you're Medina. If I'm Coach Hassinger right now, you're going in and saying, hey, we are a much better perimeter shooting team. Those shots are going to start falling. You were 1 for 5. We're going to get a lot more of those up here in the second half. Let's try to push the ball and push the pace and just do what we do. It's going to come. I think you're looking at those stats, just not shooting-wise, field goals-wise, almost 42% from the floor. They'll take that, but it's not what a normal Medina performance is.
No, it's not. And when you look at the number of three, the only making 1 is a bit surprising, but what surprises me just as much is only taking 5.
Exactly. Medina 14 up in that half.
Yeah, Medina only took 5. Kyle Shumsky doesn't have a 3 attempted.
Right.
Again, when you look at those stats and run them down, I think if you told Medina these would be the numbers at halftime and wouldn't tell them the score, and then you told them you're only going to be down 1, I think they'd take that.
Exactly. So we'll see what both teams did in the locker room as Menor will start off the first possession. They tried to look low to Rogers, and unable to hit Chad Rogers down low. And they'll start up top again. Chacon running the point for Menor. Backs up Aylward. Still patient to fake the screen. Good switch by Medina. Floated out on the wing. Hard drive, nothing doing. Kick it up to Rogers. A long 2. Oh.
Rogers was 2 for 8 in the first half. And it was clear when he got it, he was putting that one up, and you knew he's going to get some to drop. It's a great weapon to have when you have someone that can bang on the inside but also step out and hit the 3.
Feed inside to Shumsky, running the post. A little hook move. Nice move in the post from Shumsky.
Great move by Kyle Shumsky. The senior can find a way to put the ball in the hoop no matter where he is on the floor. Good defense.
Trip goes vertical. They're battling for the basketball. Oh, they're going to get Sartain. I know they're going to get Shumsky.
They're going to get Shumsky. That was great defense by Corey Tripp. Chacon tried to draw contact. He's a retreating defender. He stayed vertical. But once again, we talked about the key for Menor would be not giving up offensive boards. You can't let, if you're Medina, you can't let Menor hit those offensive boards as well. Seen a little more patience displayed
right
I'm
really
now than
surprised by the slower pace Menor's brought out into this second half here. Good hands by Tripp. He knocked that loose right away, and it stays. It was thrown out of bounds.
The thing, Menor never seemed to get set and be in any rhythm on that offensive possession. I mean, we're a minute 36 into the half, and have we had 3 shots total?
Right. Nice fake on that pass by,
and that's what
Tripp.
Both teams combined.
Aylward, the strong drive baseline, will go hard to the glass, all over the rim, can't get it to fall. Shumsky tracks it down.
He just can't get him to drop this evening.
It's Spencer in the corner, feeds it in, Caffey. Caffey muscles in, nice strong move, puts it up and in.
Good move by Christian Howard Caffey. I think he got away with a little bump. He created space on the block. Rogers isn't the easiest guy to move, but
Rogers is looking to repay the favor, and Caffey trying to reach around to get that pass, gets called for the foul. So Menor will have it underneath.
Here's the thing, I love watching Medina and Menor play because you know Coach Krasancic and Coach Hassinger both have out-of-bounds plays where they want to steal quick buckets.
Rogers misses the 3. Chacon grabs the rebound. Rogers wants that ball on the low block again. Caffey fronting. And a deep 3 fired. Caffey trying to battle for it. Tripp comes away with it.
Medina's got to do a better job on the boards.
Nice defense there. That was Chacon reached in and knocked it right into the hip of Shumsky and came away with the basketball. Good steal by Chacon.
Great hands.
Quick 3 off the mark. Caffey tracks it down, gets it to Tripp. Tripp looks to push, swings it. Aylward, he's going to pop a 3. Rim no good. And Chacon comes down with the weak side rebound.
They got to keep firing them, both sides. You just got to keep, you're known for your scoring. Both teams like to get after and run, so you just got to keep doing what you can do.
And a nice hesitation and put back up and in by Luke Floria. Floria now with 4 in the game. They're locked in on Shumsky with almost a face guard.
The quickness of Chacon and Floria is tough to defend.
And we're going to get a reach-in foul on Chacon. That'll be his second. Checking in now for Menor, number 21, Andrew White. Hagan hands it off. Shumsky fires a three, and he hits. There it was. You said you hadn't gotten one.
Got one, and you saw his hand raise with the three. A little confidence, a little bit of confidence goes a long way in high school basketball, and the more confident these kids get out there, the more they're going to attack, the more they're going to get shots up, and definitely the more going to drop.
So right now, Medina kind of fell into a zone. They got to communicate. They're overloaded.
I guess he's got to reach with that other hand. He went across his body to try and get that steal. He's got to reach with the other hand.
Let's see what we have here on the call. It's
White was out of bounds. Yeah, Medina ball. White was out of bounds.
And Chacon, oh no, that wasn't Chacon that time. That was Floria. My apologies. Floria flying after that one. Couldn't come down with it. Geschke gets the lob.
Well, they got to take advantage of numbers here.
Takes it all the way in and couldn't convert on the lay-in. Thought Floria was going to pull that one up.
Jack's got to use the other. Jack Hagan's got to use the other hand there and grab it.
Shumsky couldn't handle the two.
He's got to.
And there's the charge. Draws it on Rogers. Nice job to step in there and hold his ground was Jackson. Rogers picks up his second foul on the charge.
What did we talk about in the first game? If you're willing to stand in there and take it, the referees are going to call it.
And Rogers knocks that away. Stays Medina ball.
I'll tell you what, that was great hands by Rogers. That may have hit off
Spatney's leg.
That may have hit off Spatney's leg. Look at him. They're laughing about it down there. Rogers just said to Spatney, that hit you. Spatney said, I don't know. When you say, you know if it hit you or not. He knows.
Tripp hands off Shumsky.
Off the double
team.
screen.
Somehow goes through the double team, still gets it to Tripp. Tripp slices down the lane. He'll pull up from the elbow. It might have got partially blocked there. Look at Shumsky get in there for a tip. Flying in out of nowhere to tip that one in.
You know, I think that three has energized Kyle Shumsky. Gets his nose in there. He's going to get a tip in.
Jackson sitting down in a wide stance against Chacon. Floria now with it. The Medina crowd trying to get loud and support their bees. Men are trying to answer offensively with the cheering crowd of their own. Probably the loudest I've heard this arena between our two games here tonight.
Definitely. There's a foul.
I didn't leave him room to land on that, correct?
He didn't. Chacon is so good at selling it as well. He really is. And he's good at drawing contact. And I think I would love to see it again, but I think Corey came into his space. Corey Tripp came into his space a little bit and bumped him when he was in the air. And when you bump a jump shooter in the air, you're going to get that call.
He had earlier in the first half did a couple of those where he kind of fell afterwards trying to get the officials' attention. I didn't think those were out. That time Tripp did get into him.
It looked like he did foul there, and that's 3 on Corey Tripp.
Yeah.
And listen, when the referees went into halftime, they don't go into halftime, check their phones, relax, and see what's going on.
They don't?
They're talking about the game. They're talking about, said, hey, did anyone see any contact on that 3? Why is he going to the floor? Let's talk to. So they're talking about plays. So
right.
So that it doesn't catch you by surprise when it happens.
Chacon continues to be the hot hand here from Menor, hitting all 3 of those free throws. Oh, took a shot to the head. Still couldn't hit it. Jackson tips it out. Rebound pulled down by Kyle Kohler. Kohler looks to reset it. Gets it to Floria. Floria to Rogers. Rogers drives past Spatney. Spin at the right hand, puts it up and in. Caleb Picks. Now with 5 in the game for Picks.
Good move, good finish. It just crawled over the front of the rim. When you get shots inside the lane, you have to finish.
Hagan, the strong drive, flips it up, no good. And again, they're trying to push with numbers. Rogers is going to pull up for 3. No good. Spatney trying to get the rebound. Chacon just a rebounding machine right now. Rogers the tip. They're dominating the glass. Finishes. A 4-point lead now for Menor.
Got to check out. Got to keep them off the boards.
Nice crossover by Shumsky. Goes in and gets.
He got slapped. I think he got slapped, but Chacon took the worst of it. He was set up to take a charge because they were beat out front. We're calling a 2-shot foul.
Floria picks up his third. And I wouldn't even talk about where he probably took that shot. As Shumsky got fouled, he kind of took a shot. That's why the officials aren't telling them to go out. They kind of knew gets hit a little below the belt and just taking a second to catch his breath.
Kenny McLean called 2 shots on the foul. Immediately signaled 2 shots.
Yeah.
They're, Coach Grzancik's yelling it shouldn't be 2 shots, but we said as soon as it happened.
Yeah, 2 shots. Yeah.
He signaled 2 shots. There was no doubt, and he went with it.
Spencer Aylward up at the bench. He's going in for the shooter. Shumsky will get a breather, provided he can make this one.
So to end the third quarter, you're going to have Kyle Shumsky and Corey Tripp both on the sidelines.
Well, and that's looking to get him that extra breather. So at the 1 minute between quarters, this will give him about almost a 2-minute break.
Minute to go. Menor's thinking about offensive execution, want to get a bucket to extend this lead to more than one possession. Medina's thinking about a stop. A stop, score at the other end, and they get the ball to start the fourth quarter right now based on the arrows. So that's what they'll be looking for.
Good job by Caffey to beat Rogers to the spot. The ball gets knocked loose, and they're down on the floor.
But look at that, though. Yes, he did.
Now here that goes back to our point earlier. Diving for a loose ball. Didn't quite make contact with Sartain's legs, where we saw that in our first game.
But the heart and the hustle and the willing to go get it when you lost it. Every coach wants that. That's what they want to see. He lost the ball, so he felt like he was going to go get it. I mean, everyone loves seeing that.
Oh, absolutely. Great, intense hope.
So now, just what we talked about 30 seconds ago is switched. Menor wants to stop because now they're going to get the arrow to start the fourth quarter.
Trip back in. Coach Hassinger getting the play called. 16 seconds left. They get the ball in Tripp's hands.
Once Corey Tripp to have the ball.
Hand off to Geschke. Aylward comes up for a little miscommunication. I think they're trying to get that to Shumsky. Tripp's going to try to make it happen himself. Dribble penetration. Can't get the shot to fall. Tip. Shumsky was all over that, but couldn't get the tip in this time, and the Bees are going to be down 2 as we head to the fourth. Menor 41, Medina 39.
It hasn't been as clean offensively as either team would like, but I think that's a testament tonight to the defense that's being played at both ends. Both teams are sitting down and getting after it. And they know how talented offensively each squad is. So they told themselves, I mean, if you look at the previous meetings, they put some points on the board.
Yep.
They were some track meets. And we also know what happened the last time they were together, so we also know that there's no league that is safe. So, I mean, both teams are right in it. Both teams are talking in their huddles right now about continuing to get defensive stops and offensive execution. Make sure we get clean looks. We've seen a couple of rush looks at both ends.
Again, Kyle Shumsky leading the way for Medina with 13 points. You have Corey Tripp with 9. Then you have Christian Howard Caffey with 6. Jack Hagan with 5. Brandon Geschke with 3. Spencer Aylward with 2. And Matt Spatney with 1. For Menor, it's been Luke Chacon, 16 points, pacing the way for them. Chad Rogers right behind that with 11 points. 5 points for both Kyle Kohler and Caleb Picks. And 4 points for Luke Floria. And that's your scoring for Menor. We're all set here. All boils down to what happens here in the final 8 minutes. And would you expect anything less between these two?
No, I think everybody knew that this is what it would come down to. Both teams have a lot of heart, and we're going to see them all laid on the line in the final 8 minutes.
Aylward on Chacon. Chacon backs up to go at it again. Floria came for the high screen. Chacon went to the left instead. He'll use that now, and he'll switch up and pick up Tripp. Aylward tried to go for the steal. Good recovery by the Medina defense.
Corey has to be careful. Tripp has to be careful about getting his fourth 45 feet from the basket.
Trying to close out.
Timeout.
So coach doesn't look too happy. Obviously, they may not have been running the offensive set like he wanted to see,
well, they just ran 42 seconds off the clock, and the ball never went inside the three-point line. So everyone, not everyone, a number of people across the state right now are screaming at their computer screens. That's why we need a shot clock. So, and as most know, to get a shot clock, we follow National Federation rules, so it would have to be a change at the federation level for Ohio high school basketball to implement.
But at least he was dribbling. I haven't seen some games where they just sit and hold the ball out there. So at least they were moving the basketball.
I don't think either of these teams are going to let the other squad hold it.
You're exactly right. All right, so man-to-man, Chacon out on Aylward, gets the screen from Rogers. They go to switch, good switch back, but that's enough time for Chacon to get the drive. Good rebound by Howard Caffey.
Very good rebound.
Tripp ahead to Shumsky. Shumsky will slow it down. Drive, pull it up from just inside the free throw line and hit. Big bucket here in the fourth to tie it up.
Very big bucket for Kyle Shumsky.
He now has 15 points in the game. Floria, the strong drive and finish.
Great finish. They have such great control of their body and angling to make tough layups off the board.
Yeah, I think control, you hit it on the head there. Just they're under control when they drive in and they use every part of that body to shield everyone from that basketball.
And they can take contact. They took a little contact right there from Corey. Corey stayed in great defensive position, but he's still able to finish.
Shumsky, the nice drive and finish. 17 in the game now for him.
That's what it's going to take. You got to finish at the rim in this fourth quarter.
Chacon draws the body, but finishes strong.
That was good. Full timeout for Menor. Great finish by Luke Chacon. Able to withstand the contact. Again, that was contact he created. He got in the lane. He leaned in. He created the bump, caused it to happen. But in doing so, it was able to give him space so that he could go up with the left hand and finish.
And two strong drives, both times down the floor. These last two possessions for Menor between Floria and Chacon. Extends that lead back to 2.
And that's what we talked about. There has to be someone on that next level that is there for help defense. But if there is, then you're probably going to be giving up a clean look on the other side as well for a 3. So it's going to be pick your poison in this one. And that's why it's fun to watch, because of the offensive talent on both teams, but it being matched with defensive effort as well.
I get the timeouts to keep an eye on here as we get through this one. 4 from Medina, 3 from Menor, because you know it's going to come down to the end here.
They all get like 87 of them, it feels like. Oh, my goodness.
Well, we have no commercials here, so there's no commercial timeouts, so we can keep this thing moving along here. It's 6 minutes to go here in the fourth, and a great matchup for this regional semifinal between Medina and Menor. Round 3, if you will. Each team winning the first 2 during the season. They split, and here we are at game 3, and just as close as the other 2 were. Tripp drives in. Wanted to give it to Sartain, but instead he'll give it to Caffey, who gives it to Shumsky. Shumsky draws the double team, back to Aylward. He'll fire for 3. No good. Ball over Sartain's hands, rebounded by Floria, and here comes Chacon and Menor.
Medina will take that possession. They get a clean look at a 3, but they have to keep Luke Chacon out.
Beautiful crossover by Chacon.
Keep him out of the lane. the defensive breakdown. Look at the look on Coach Hassinger's face.
He set that up with a great crossover. He gave a hard dribble to the left, crossed it over, and had a wide open lane. Shumsky looking to answer, doing the same thing. Can't get it to fall. Chacon on the other side of the rebound. Luke Chacon just turning it into a Luke Chacon show as he finishes again. Chacon now with 22 in the game, and Mentor's extended the lead to 6.
And Coach Hassinger giving the official an earful regarding the last trip from Medina down the floor. But, I mean, Mentor has done it by beating guys off the dribble and getting to the rim. That's what it's going to take. Someone from Medina has to step up. It's the perfect opportunity to take a charge or force that extra pass. You can't keep letting guys get to the rim, especially guys as strong. I mean, everybody look and say, oh, they're not as tall as you would think. But Flory and Chacon are strong.
Yeah.
They can handle the contact, and when the space is created, they have enough control of their body to finish, and that's what they've done, and that's how they've built this 6-point lead.
And you're right, and defensively, we're not doing anything to alter that shot at all. Like you said, they're using the strength. They're demanding where they're going to go and able to finish strong.
Well, right now Medina's talking defensively, what they need to do to get it done. But also, they've got to execute at this end. They've got to execute and continue to get clean looks and hit the offensive rebounds. I mean, when Flory and Chacon are in there getting defensive rebounds,
right,
you got to be in there battling against those smaller guards.
Geschke calls off trip. They'll bring it up. Chacon on him. And there's going to be the reach-in foul on Floria.
I love that. Floria hit him across the face, and he looks around like, what'd I do?
That's going to be Floria's 4th. That'd go a long way if you get him out right now. And instead, you're going to get the foul on number 3. Kyle Kohler, only his 2nd.
The difference, Corey gets to the rim at this end. They foul, make sure you're not going to make the layup. At Mentor's end, they're getting layups and finishing. So these free throws are critical because you can't continue just to match buckets.
You can see the matchup coming. And Tripp misses. Well, you see already Geschke's going to face guard from now on. That's what he came in to do. He's already in Floria's face, and we're going to see if he comes out there to pick him up here.
They're going to trap Chacon in the corner. He asked for a timeout.
So 4:49 to go. The lead 5 for Mentor.
30-second timeout for Mentor. They got it in to Chacon in the corner. He knew he had no options, and again, they had 87 timeouts, so he thought, why not use one? Why not use one of them? The winner of this game moves on. They'll play Shaker Heights at 2 p.m., correct, on Saturday afternoon?
Correct. And Shaker, for those of you that didn't see our telecast earlier, winning 83-71 over Canton, a game in which they dominated, leading by 20 at the half. Credit to Canton McKinley battling back. Had that lead to within 4 late in the third and just couldn't hold on to close out that comeback. And Shaker closed it out to win 83-71.
Great game, big game for Dakota Cochran.
Oh, yeah.
And all this Shaker, everyone contributed, and they worked hard. That was a very impressive first half they put together to get the win.
So Floria gets to Chacon. Hagan on him now. And they're content to try to clear things. Let's see if they continue to do so. Shumsky
I don't believe Floria or Chacon, have they been off the floor tonight?
Not for very long if they were. Again, Chacon just dribbling strong right now. Working a lot of clock. Shumsky closed out, tried to poke it away. Chacon gets down the lane, now he'll kick it back out. B's trying to get matched up, and they do again.
Trying to get matched up, but this is what happens when you have great ball handlers. They get you, you fall behind, you're forced to play from behind and chase.
And look at Menor coming close to running almost a full minute off the clock here already.
They ran illegal screen.
Yeah, and that's going to be number 5. That's Floria's 5th foul. He's gone. He, like you said, talked before about the screens. Spatney earlier, he led with that arm.
You can't have... When you're setting a screen in the middle of the floor, everyone can see it. When you're setting screens that far up, it was called. You saw that when he reported, he gave a mechanic of lifting his arm and pushing. So he used, that's what it was.
So they get the substitutions, and Coach Hassinger utilizing that time to get his players together and kind of get some, without using a timeout, getting organized here. So we'll see, 3:39 to go. Bees desperately need to score here.
They do. They need a bucket.
Chomsky thought about the baseline. Good defensive stop there by Caleb Picks.
And with now Flory out of the game, on at the other end, they'll be able. Oh,
nice crossover by Tripp.
They'll be able to run 2 guys at Chacon. Great move by Corey Tripp down the lane. But as we come up the other end, they'll be able to cheat and run 2 guys at Luke Chacon with Flory not on the floor with him.
3:10. Let's see how much clock they work off here with Chacon. Doesn't waste any time that time. And the bad part there is Spencer fouls him, but doesn't do a good enough job to let Chacon shoot it. And he puts it up and in, and he'll get a chance for a 3-point play.
That's what we said. They made Corey earn the bucket at the other end and go to the free throw line and try and make 2 free throws. At this end, he's able to put it in, and Luke Chacon goes to the line with a chance for a 3-point play.
Chacon converts. A huge first quarter here for Chacon. It's 9 points in the quarter, 25 in the game for the young man. Bees just have not found an answer for him right now, and it needs something on the offensive end.
No, and you wonder if the Bees will turn up a touch of pressure since Flory is out of the game, too.
Tripp loses his balance, found Caffey. Gashgill reset at 2:40. They got to put a little urgency here, down 6. Hand it off to Chomsky. Caffey the screen. Chomsky takes it in, gets it stripped away. Comes away with the basketball, trying to find a way out, and gets the timeout from Coach Hassinger.
Well, here's the thing. They're going to have the ball on the baseline. Coach Hass is one of the best drawing up plays, so look for something right now. They're going to have a look at the rim from someone diving after screens, or a creation for space above the 3-point line to get a clean look for a 3.
Trying to look back at the team fouls. Menor 6, Medina 4. And there's a look at the Menor bench. Medina, you just look for the best shot available at this point, wouldn't you? Regardless of 2 or 3.
The first clean look, and that's been Medina's MO all year. The first clean look they have in a half-court set. I'm not sure anyone's gotten in trouble with Coach Hassinger for firing when you have a clean look. So the first clean look they get, I look for something now. Again, you're going to have some motion. You're going to have some misdirection on this baseline out-of-bounds play. They're going to look for someone dive into the block or curling around for a clean look at a screen.
And that's what I'm thinking. Sartain maybe curling around for that outside 3 in the corner.
Yeah, watch for him to be
It's going to be
got it in
Chomsky.
quick. Here it comes.
Chomsky feels it and gets the bucket. That's a huge and one here if he can convert. The foul will go against Caleb Picks. It'll be his second. Chomsky will head to the line.
They ran double action for Corey and he for Kyle, and he followed his teammate to the lane and was able to create some space, and he hit a tough shot. See if he can finish the 3-point play.
And that one's off the mark. Chomsky misses the free throw.
They attacked Chacon in the backcourt and made him give it up. Now they're going to chase. They're going to run 2 guys at him. Coach Krasancek is not happy.
Chacon getting upset. I think they had a play called. No one was moving. They were watching him dribble.
Yeah, frustration.
So a minute 59 to go in a 4-point game.
Well, with Flory out of the game, he fouled out. You're going to look, Luke Chacon's the primary ball handler. He's going to have the ball in his hands. If you're Medina, I think you're going to have to run someone at him to force him to give up that basketball.
Right.
You're going to have to run at him and then recover and find a way to create something. There's multiple times in this quarter alone that Mentor's held the ball for what feels like 50 seconds, a minute.
Oh, at least, yeah. So just under 2 here. You're exactly right. Let's see how long. Now, every time I said that, that's when Chacon finds the open lane and goes through quickly.
And if you look, you have a lineup of speed in there for Medina.
And Jackson face guarding Chacon right now. They throw it to the deep backcourt, and they're looking to trap him. And Coach Hassinger can't believe the foul was called, and it's going to go against Jackson.
It's only the 5th of the half on Medina.
Match up again and just start guarding them.
Yeah, just do it again. And you can take chances because they're not shooting yet, so you can be a bit over-aggressive.
Oh, trying to clear out with that elbow there.
Yeah, he is. He called timeout, open hand, timeout. Coach Krasancek's mad about no foul, but Luke Chacon's one of the best at drawing contact. He initiated a lot of that contact, and Kenny McLean wasn't going to fall for it.
Well, he came in early. He's throwing that forearm out early drawing the contact. So you're right. That's a good no call by the officials there. Now, he is out of timeouts with 1:43 to go. He has no more timeouts left.
Well, you can tell how much it hurts to not have his backcourt mate with him on the floor right now. When you have Chacon and Flory out there together, they are tough to guard because they move the ball so well, and they're both so strong with the ball. They handle it so well. And right now, you don't have that.
Just checking breaking news. If it's true, we got to confirm that. Getting word here at the table that the NBA is just canceling their season.
It looks like they had a player test positive.
Yeah, had an NBA player test positive, so they are going to suspend the season, not cancel. Correct? Is that the word they used?
That appears to be the word that they've used. Ugh.
No suspension in play here with 1:40 to go. And a good double team by the Bees. Couldn't convert.
Very good double team. A lot of contact at midcourt.
Medina gets it back. Looking for the screen from Rogers. He peels off of it. 126 and counting now. He caught him with the forearm, didn't he?
He caught it on the defense.
Wow.
They're still not shooting. Next one's 1-on-1.
So how much of a forearm do you give the guard with the basketball?
Well,
and I'm not saying Chacon did anything wrong. I'm just asking.
Yep, it's about creating space. As long as the offensive player isn't extending and creating space, there's probably not a.
Oh, it hit off it's off of him. He got the turnover.
As long as you're not extending and creating space, you're going to let someone protect themselves.
They'll be locked.
You're going to allow it to be there and not move them.
And the reason I bring that up is just for the folks at home, trying to be the official on their couch there.
Yeah, you're okay leaving it there, but when you use it to either knock someone out, displace them, or you extend it and create space, then we have an issue.
And like I said, Chacon was doing nothing wrong. I just want a clarification on that. Outstanding guard play from him. And Tripp gets him elevated, gets the foul. Oh, couldn't get the bucket to go. That would have been huge. Instead, he'll go to the line to shoot two as the foul goes against Rogers. It'll be his third.
Something.
Again, substitution problems here. They made Sartain come back out on the floor. Are they just not going up enough, or?
Oh, it's 2-shot foul. So
second shot. Gotcha.
Second shot.
Gotcha.
So I'm getting little text messages giving you credit, Jared, for a lot of these people, you're the first one for them to hear the breaking news regarding the NBA.
Oh, see, look at that.
Medina down 3. You expect to see a little bit of pressure, and Coach Haas is moving guys around, who he wants on the block for free throws, who he doesn't. You expect to see a little bit of pressure after this free throw from Corey Tripp.
Oh, Tripp gets it. It was in, out, and then back in.
We've seen some balls rattle around.
Chicago's got a 2-on-1. This is. Your thoughts as an official?
Block charges with a minute to go in a 2-point game are the toughest calls. He had 1 second to look at it and make a decision, and he came out firing with the block. I mean, that's a tough play. Here's the deal. We'll look at it on slow-mo 5 times. Right. We'll break it down, and we'll still argue about it.
So is there a quick rule of thumb as an official that leads you one way or the other when you have such a bang-bang play like that?
Referee, as an official, you referee the defense. You're watching what the defense does. And if the defense, because that's who's getting penalized except for an offensive foul. So if you're refereeing the defense and he's standing there and he gets he gets ran over, then we're going to ship it the other way. But if you feel the defense is moving, he's not in good legal guarding position, then we're going to stay here and call block.
Chacon splits the pair, and the lead is 2 for Menor with a minute to go. 3. Yeah, the scoreboard a little slow on flipping it over. We're going to get a foul on the floor.
Going to shoot 1 and 1. I love it. I hear that. Can we get that on this end? I love hearing things like that. They just shot 2 foul shots on this
a block charge. Exactly. So Tripp will head to the line with a chance to cut it to 2. Or 1. 2 for the first one here. Sinks that first. And the free throw in for Tripp.
Cuts it to 1.
Chacon feels the triple team that time. Geschke tried to reach around from the back. Not a bad foul.
No, not a bad foul. We're going to go to the line for 1 and 1. Prolong the game. Coach Hassner making a lot of offensive and defensive substitutions.
1 and 1, so it should be the substitution. Hagan should be off. They got to get that straightened out, don't they? Yeah. And up to the free throw line, Caleb Picks. 50 seconds to go. Picks at the line. That ball's up and in. Clutch free throws from Picks right now.
This is something you don't see at a basketball game. We have people standing and pacing rows.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so few people
running up
here.
and down stairs because they don't know what to do. Yeah.
They're pacing.
And that's off the mark, so the Bees are down 2, 49 seconds to go.
Look for Corey Tripp to attack.
They'll pull it back out. Shumsky's the next one to watch. And he gets the basketball. Quickly puts his shoulder down, drives, gets the step, kicks it. Tripp thought about the 3, pulls it back. He'll hit the jumper from the corner. No! Rebound pulled down, but he threw it away. The ball's flung up. Come back by Sartain. Shumsky with it. 25 seconds to go.
Timeout.
And we get a timeout by Coach Hassinger. Get things back under control. You going to start running the rows now, too?
I'm just going to stand up and stretch a little bit. See, I mean, 23.7 to go. 2-point game. If I'd have told you we got Picks cramping up, it looks like, down at the far end in front of the Medina bench.
Yeah, he can't even get over there. Our Medina trainer over there trying to help him. But you're exactly right. Looking around, even the men are faithful up in their seats, standing up, waiting to see it go. Medina faithful, filling the stairs and the aisleways. There's a good shot of some of them standing. And there you see me standing in the stairs and waiting to go here.
So we got 23.7 to go. Medina down 2. And knowing Coach Haas, again, there's going to be 2 options. There's going to be a drive, look on the block, or if there's a clean look at 3, go. Menner's coming out defensively, obviously a little short-handed. Luke Floria fouling out a few minutes ago.
They get the ball to Tripp, the bounce pass to Shumsky, stutter step, puts it up and in. Shumsky ties it, and we get a quick timeout from Coach Hassinger.
He wants to set up his defense. You know, both these teams take pride in their defensive effort, and he called timeout so he could get the right personnel in there. Some people say, why would you call timeout? Well, he's calling timeout because Menner is good offensively.
How about, have you watched Floria at all this game? Or not Floria, but Cone?
Yeah. And
so I think right now you got to account for him, and I think you let the ball go into anyone else but him if you can.
You do, and I think they're probably talking over there about
and both teams are in the bonus.
You can't foul. Luke Chacon for Menner is the best player on the floor, in my opinion. I believe in the concept of if the best player is going to beat us, he's going to beat us because we gave him our best. Right. We ran 2 guys at him. We did what we had to do.
And you can't be so focused on Chacon that you let someone get deep on you.
Correct.
Medina kind of showing a little bit of a zone. Now they match up.
Here we go.
Jackson's going to draw Chacon. 10 seconds. Will Menner have a repeat of their last showdown with Medina and hit a buzzer beater, or will Medina hold on here? Chacon the drive, the floater, can't get it to fall, and we're going to play extra.
We're going to play more. How fitting is it? These 2 teams who have battled all year are going to play 4 more minutes of basketball at least.
That's right. Welcome to bonus coverage here on Medina TV. And actually, while we have a moment to set the stage, I'll make sure I thank our crew here battling things out tonight. Summer Gray on graphics. We have Georgia Nielsen and Jason Barros up on camera. Excellent job by those guys tonight, giving you the great shots you're seeing. And then Matt Tomek making everything happen behind the scenes for the live stream, the taping, the casting, everything needed done behind the scenes there. And he's probably in the worst vantage point of everyone. We talk about everyone here that, 50 to 100 people here watching in attendance. He's under the bleachers watching this on the monitor, so he's stuck underneath in the deep parts of the Wolstein Center. So credit to him putting this game together and bringing the action here to you. And we've got a great one here. Another 4 minutes action ready to go.
Well, I turn around and I'm looking at Shaker Heights. I'm looking at Coach Young and his crew, and he is thinking right now, I hope they play 7 overtimes. Play all night. That's what he wants. He wants them to run ragged.
Do you think he has a favorite?
I think both teams create problems. He probably thinks he matches up well a little bit with one or the other, but I don't think he has a favorite. I think he knows it's going to be hard and difficult no matter who it is. Just like I don't think either of these teams had a favorite in the first game. They just want to play. They just want a shot at it.
And the tip this time won by Howard Caffey, so Medina will get the first shot at it here in overtime. Tripp gets it, drives at the elbow, pushes it in on Rogers, floats and sinks it.
Big basket by Corey Tripp. Medina was down 6. I think they feel very fortunate to be in the position they're in to have the opportunity to play 4 more minutes.
Chacon off the mark, flying in. Caffey pulls down the rebound, ball batted away.
See that?
Credit to Caleb Picks firing in there. Shumsky had it. He knocked it out of his hands. Howard Caffey there to clean it up.
That's something we haven't seen from Luke Chacon tonight. That one looked a little bit off balance. It looked a little rushed. And that's something he hasn't shown this evening.
Shumsky going to bring the ball up now, running the point.
I think at this point on, it's going to be about matchups. They want to see matchups.
Hassinger gets the offense set. Look like we're going to get a high screen from Caffey. Stayed still. Tripp drives the lane. Goes to finish and does. Corey Tripp, 4 straight points in this overtime and a 4-point lead for Medina.
Just like we talked about before, no one on Medina stepping up and playing help defense. Same thing goes for Menor. When Corey Tripp drives down, they have to have someone step over.
Answering the call, Chad Rogers.
Big three-pointer from Chad Rogers. Such a soft touch. Love watching him shoot when it's in rhythm.
Tripp trying to clear the shoulder, doesn't. Oh, Shumsky thought about that three, pulled it back in. Looks to work Chacon. Back to Tripp now. Tripp with Kohler on him. Medina patient now, 2:32 to go. Tripp again, the strong move, hesitates. Pulls it back out. Aylward will reset it and get it to Shumsky. Two double screens. Shumsky drives and finishes on the lay-in. So a reversal of fortune. We watched Chacon drive and take it in. It's Medina now, uncontested down the lane.
Great finish, soft touch by Kyle Shumsky getting down the lane. Not giving Rogers any space at this end on this trip.
Look at Caffey battling right there. Bodies flying everywhere. Ahead. Sartain thought about it. Shumsky caught. Oh, nice feed inside. Caffey all alone.
Medina up 5, but Menor, they got an extra timeout because we went to overtime, but
Aylward's going to get called for the reach, which actually wasn't a bad thing because he was going to get tripped going airborne for the foul, so save the foul on him.
They called it on Tripp. The baseline official called it.
Ooh.
That's his 4th.
Wow.
Yep, the baseline official grabbed that. He had the angle, and he saw the contact. We saw the hip from behind.
Yeah.
He saw the bump in front.
I thought that was Aylward all the way, reaching across Chacon's arms.
You were hoping?
Chacon hits the first. I don't know if Chacon knew if that was a 1 or a 2. Two-shot free throw. He was asking there. Chacon hits them both. Continues the hot hand.
Steady, poised, under control. He's had a great season.
Calm with the basketball. Gets it across the timeline. Tripp now has it in his hands. Sees a chance to drive in. Goes strong. Finishes. Tripp.
Corey Tripp
taking the game over. 6 points here in the overtime.
Turns his shoulder.
Chacon answers with a drive of his own.
And Chacon wants to get to the rim. He gets to the rim.
Final minute. And that's how I set the stage for that earlier. We discussed. You saw Geschke move that arm out and not keep it close like we saw Chacon do earlier, and the official quick to make that call. So Menor down 3 with a 1:04 to go. Jackson matched up on Chacon. He gives that away. You got to watch Rogers for that 3 up top. He's up. I guess he's going to get called for the push.
Double bonus. Going to be 2 shots.
And I think he would have been fine, but there was 2 hands on that back as he went for that rebound, and I think that's what got him. That's going to send Kel Gray to the free throw line. It's the first. Chance to make this a 1-point game. Every part of the rim, and it goes.
They had a sub at the table. They had a sub at the table. The sub's got to have the opportunity to come in. They didn't hit the horn.
Geschke will have the baseline to run as they reset it. Tripp gets the basketball. Final 50 seconds. Does Medina just try to work clock here, or do they stay on the attack?
I think you stay on the attack. If Corey has the lane, he can drive the lane and get down there, then he does. Same with Kyle. You have that green light. I mean, they got hands on. There's a foul. I mean, in that situation, I know everyone's screaming and yelling and wants a foul. Here's the deal. when the offensive players got by someone, they're going to let them go. Now, they're not going to let them get slapped, grabbed, or held or lose the basketball. The offensive player is going to have a protection, and that's what happened there.
So Shumsky to shoot 2. Hits the first. Medina makes the offense to defensive substitutions. And Pix checks in, same reason, offense to defense.
Short. He went over the line.
He crossed the line too soon.
Yep, he knew it when he released it. He knew it. He knew it was short, and he went to go get it.
So a 2-point game, 36 seconds to go. They're going to try to keep the ball out of Chacon's hands, but there he comes away with it. Jackson trying to make him work, goes over the screen, nice job. Now you got to get the help from Tripp. Does a spin move by Chacon, flips it up and in, we're tied.
What a move, Luke Chacon. Great move, great finish at the rim.
We get a timeout by Hatzinger. Now
3 guys on him, great spin move, and he finishes.
Now what shocks me is why not let him get up half court so you get the ball at half court?
Well, you may want to see what Menor does. Maybe he wants more space. When you get it at half court, you're a little congested and bad things can happen sometimes. So, again, Luke Chacon will be taking those talents to Youngstown State University and Coach Jared Calhoun, and I know he's got to be happy with what he's seeing tonight.
Absolutely, sitting on 32 points right now. Well, you're Medina. You got 15.7 to go and got a chance.
You got a chance. You have a chance. I think if you're Menor, you're saying, listen, let's not let Corey Tripp get to the rim the way he has in overtime. Someone step up and help. Make someone else beat us by not getting to the rim.
I think you're going to see Shumsky or Tripp driving, but the wild card there on that drive, watch for Caffey sneaking in for that quick give.
I look over and I have a little laugh. I look over and on Menor's bench is Coach Jim Funk, who I grew up in East Liverpool, Ohio. He was my 7th grade basketball coach and Ohio history teacher. Jim Funk back way back then. So I just saw him sitting over there.
So Medina will get it inbounded here at 3-quarter court. He must have gave you good grades. You speak so nicely.
He didn't give me anything. I earned those grades.
Tripp with 12 seconds, taking his time coming across the court here. 9, 8. He's going to move to try to take the shot. Shumsky's guarded. He looks up at the clock. 3 seconds. Elevates, no good, and we're going to see another overtime.
Hey, both teams had the opportunity. Luke Chacon at the end of regulation from inside 15 feet. Corey Tripp at the other end at the end of overtime inside 15 feet. Hey, let's play some more basketball. I'm not sure I've ever heard a gym this quiet in overtime.
I think everyone's just catching their breath for a second. Everyone taking a second just to inhale. And so 24 points there for Kyle Shumsky so far as we head into the overtime. You've got 8 from Christian Howard Caffey. You've got 22 points from Corey Tripp. They're kind of pacing away. And as I mentioned before, 32 points from Chacon. And then 14 points from Chad Rogers, the second leading scorer right now. I'm starting to run out of space on my score sheet here. I'm going to have to find new lines as we head to overtime number 2. As we look through things, Luke Floria, who fouled out during regulation. Corey Tripp has 4 fouls. Brandon Geschke with 3. You got Chad Rogers from Menor with 3, along with Luke Chacon with 3.
You've got people standing everywhere in this place. Everyone's standing, everyone's into it.
And if you're on a laptop with low battery, I hope you got it plugged in somewhere real soon if you're watching. If your cell phone and you're watching there, the same thing. Hope you got a good charge as we head into the second overtime. Firing a quick 3 way off the mark. And that's just Sartain just hasn't had that shot yet tonight.
No, and to Mentor's credit, they're not giving Sartain.
Great baseline step and step in for Rogers to hit that shot.
They're not giving Sartain clean looks. They're making him work for it.
Shumsky dribbling, waiting on the play call. Dribbles, kicks it. Jackson, he'll feed it back off. Trip, looks like they're clearing the floor for him. He could. Nope. Shumsky slowly working the high post. Sartain, Caffey. Shumsky, the screen, drives to the bucket, flips it up and in.
Great finish. He went into Rogers, he created space, and he was able to finish.
Rogers going to dribble it up. Caffey walls him up, gets the steal. Nice steal by Caffey, hands it back off the Trip. Oh, there's a body.
He got bumped off the dribble.
And that's going to go against Caleb Pitts
too.
That'll be his third. Shumsky to the line. Conley hits the first free throw.
Offensive, defensive substitutions for the Bees. He did it again.
He did it again. Knew he missed and he left too soon.
He's a shooter.
He knows a double team happening on Chacon.
He's a shooter. He knows when it's going to be short.
He got it the second time. Hagan tries to save it and goes into the boards.
Great effort from Jack Hagan.
Boy, that was just so quick by Shumsky.
And look at Chacon. He helps him up, gives him a pat on the butt. He loves it because that's exactly what he would do if it was going out of there.
Rogers going to pull it up from three. He'll miss. Good rebound by Tripp to be right there. Gets it to Shumsky. Shumsky, stutter step. What a crossover. Gets it blocked. Caffey, the rebound. He gets it blocked. Two huge blocks by Mentor. And now it's Rogers pushing the break. Chacon now gets the ball. Rogers looking to run a high screen. Nope, Chacon goes right side. Good battle here.
Good.
Tried to time it. Gets called for the foul. That'll be Jackson's second foul. And it sends Chacon to the line. Chacon hits. .33 points now for Chacon, and we're tied at 68. Hits them both. Tripp with a minute 50 to go, down one. Sartain thought about going back door. Caffey pulls it in, Shumsky. Aylward thought about the three, nice pass. Caffey misses inside. Mentor with the basketball. Chacon gets it with a minute 30 to go, up one. Look to double team just to try to speed things up.
Yeah, I think you want the ball out of Chacon's hands if you're Medina. You want to pressure, force him to pass it. Now they're going to trap there. And if you let him get it back, he's not going to give it up easily. And he's going to hold it.
We're down to under a minute here. Someone's got to do something on him.
Coach Hass is yelling double now. He's yelling double.
Oh, boy. Everyone's looking for the travel there as he hit that stop.
Ball's going to go on the baseline. They're going to be set up for
56.9. Both teams shooting two at a foul situation.
This is how it should be.
And Menor has shown success of running about a minute off the clock, so it's going to take some defensive stops or a foul here from Medina, because Menor has shown time and time again through the course of this game that they can do that.
This is what it's all about, right? I mean, this is what, you know, both teams are right there, and they have the opportunity to make it to a regional final. It should be difficult.
Exactly.
This should be part of the process. There's how many Division I teams sitting at home right now that said, I would love to have that opportunity. And both these teams have worked hard to get to this point.
Absolutely. And they don't want to go home. Neither team wants to go home right now.
So, you know, on this, you're going to look for something. Coach Krasancic is going to set something up. I'd look for Rogers going to the block, but he could be more of the decoy.
Yeah.
You know, in these plays, you want to have someone say, okay, everybody should worry about this guy, and then someone else slides in for an easy two.
See if Chacon's actually the screener. Oh, what a pass. Got it right to him in the lay-in.
Got it. Rogers starts out up top. They think he's going to dive to the block, and Chacon sneaks in for a layup.
45 seconds. Medina showing patience here, down 3. Tripp gets the lane, goes up, tries to draw the foul.
He got it, foul.
The foul will go against Kyle Culler. That's his 4th.
And if you look now quickly, you'll see Coach Krasancic without a water cup, which doesn't happen too often.
Tripp gets the first.
As it gets refilled.
Well, double overtime, it does empty out.
It does. He was officiating a game one time at his at Euclid, and he threw it into the stands. Needless to say, the other team shot 2 shots.
Well, did you just say someone wanted a drink? And Tripp hits them both. So the Bees will have to get it done defensively here, down 1 with 39 seconds to go.
Spencer checks in for Corey Tripp.
Rogers looking to go deep. Shumsky on him. And Aylward fouls. Number 3, Kyle Culler, who led to the line. Culler with 5 points so far in this game. All 5 of those points coming in the first half.
Boy, look at Luke Flory on the bench, standing up, cheering his team on. It's just, I know it's got to be so difficult for him over there.
Wholesale substitutions from Medina.
And he's doing everything he did to cheer his guys on to make sure that they have he has the opportunity to play on Saturday afternoon.
Calmly sinks that free throw. Again, great free throw shooting so far for Menor all night, only missing 2 of their free throws.
I think if you're Medina here, you're going to bring it down. First good look you get. If it's a 2, take the 2 and extend the game and know you're going to foul again. If you got a clean look at a 3, this team's lived on 3s all year. Pull it.
Tripp hesitates, gets it to Shumsky. Shumsky, the hard drive, goes up to finish and lays it in. There's that quick lay-in you talked about. Trying to deny Chacon, and they get the quick foul.
Clock's still running. Clock was running after the made basket. Doesn't stop in high school basketball.
So 15.7 to go as the foul will go against Sartain, and only his 2nd. And Luke Chacon, who just continues to add on to that point total here tonight. At the line. His 37th point.
I think Coach Krasancic's going to call a timeout if he makes this. It looks like he just...
He missed that one. And Caffey gets it, so a 2-point game. Tripp coming down, and they get the timeout from Coach Hassinger. 10 seconds to go. Wow. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless right now.
This
was great. Great high school basketball. We're glad we could bring it to you here on Medina TV for everyone watching at home.
Coach Hass had the board up. before the second free throw was being shot. So you knew a timeout was coming. They're in there drawing something up. They'll have a double option look, I'm sure. Someone, maybe a little dive to the basket, someone cutting to the hoop, but then that also creating space for a clean look at a three. I would not be surprised to see Medina take a three on this trip. You may look at a little dribble drive penetration. They've gotten to the hoop in both overtime periods.
Overtimes very well. And 10
Kyle
seconds
Corey
is plenty of time to do that. Although I could see Haas drawing up a play to get that three and just try and end it.
You don't get this opportunity often. You have Sartain Shumsky trip that can be out there to fire it. Here we go.
Sartain tries to go to the corner. Shumsky off a double screen. He's going to dribble. He's going to drive. He's going to try to put it up, and it's stolen. They said Chacon stole it clean.
They said Coach Hassinger is not happy. They said Chacon stole it clean, 2 shots. Luke Chacon has made so many plays at the offensive end tonight, coming through at the end with a big defensive play.
Well, you're absolutely correct on the offensive side, I think, but defensively, how many defensive rebounds has he pulled down and come up with a big play like he just did there? Now, this is the crucial one here. He puts this one down. It's a 4-point game, and I don't think it's, unless Medina can get the 4-point play, and that should ice it for Menor. And Sartain will heave it at the end, and almost went in, but it's no good, and Menor on the shoulders of Luke Chacon ride this out in 2 overtimes over Medina, 76-72. Luke Chacon finishes with 39 points on the night and pushes Menor out in front here at the end in a great matchup between these teams for the 3rd time this season.
What a high school basketball game. Both teams left it all out on the floor. You see, as they go through the handshake line, it's the final game for a number of seniors, and then for Menor, they move on to play Shaker for round 3 of that matchup on Saturday afternoon as the We Want Shaker chants start as Coach Danny Young and his team is exiting the arena.
So hats off to both programs here, giving us a great final matchup here. Menor going to come away victorious. Try to break down some of the scoring for you. As I mentioned before, Luke Chacon, 39 points. You had Kyle Culler with 7 points. He finished with 7 in the game. Then you had 6 points from Luke Floria, who had fouled out during that game and was up on the bench supporting his team throughout that whole 2 double overtimes. Then you had 16 points from Chad Rogers, 2 points from Cale Gray, and 6 points from Caleb Picks. For Medina, it was 29 points from Kyle Shumsky, 8 points from Christian Howard Caffey, 1 from Spatney, 2 from Aylward. Hagan finished with 5. Corey Tripp finished with 24 points, and Brandon Geschke with 3. Just coming up on the short end there. They had the chance, they had the drive, looking to send it to a 3rd overtime, and Luke Chacon stepped up. For what he did offensively, probably made the biggest play there on defense.
It was a play at the defensive end. At the end of regulation, Menor had a chance to win it with Luke Chacon inside the lane. At the end of the 1st overtime, Medina had a clean look to win it. Both teams had their opportunities. It was a little sloppy and sluggish throughout, especially at the start. They were feeling each other out, which was surprising for teams that have battled and know each other so well. But it seemed like the deeper we got into the game, the more the offensive clicked, the more they were able to get to the rim and do what they wanted to do.
Well, and the right point to that, as I look over through the book here, 4 threes for Menor, and what we had 2. So not something you normally think in this kind of matchup. All the scoring done on drives down the lane. Take a look at some of the final stats there and see if anything jumps out at you.
Yeah, it's what jumps out at me right away looking at it is to see Medina 2 for 9 from 3-point land, only getting off 9 threes. That is a bit surprising. While the other end, Menor shot 24 of them.
Yeah, I made 5. So again, just that.
But when you look at the stat sheet, so much of it is even. 12 turnovers for Medina, 11 for Menor. You take a look at the rebounds, Medina 34, Menor 33. It was an evenly played game, and it came down to a play or two at the end.
Absolutely.
And the biggest play of the game was the play Luke Chacon made on the steal.
I mean, really, you're absolutely right. You look through this scorebook, and it's about dead even. Shooting percentages, turnovers, everything dead even down the board, and it showed why. That's why we're in 2 overtimes to get to this point. And Menor comes away with the victory, 76-72. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, just thinking, I mean, you know, Medina had a tremendous season. I know they didn't want it to end tonight. They had an amazing season. And whoever makes it to Columbus, to the Final Four after Saturday, will be a team that, I mean, I know this is a very little consolation tonight, but it's a team that they beat both those teams this year.
Yeah.
So that's how close this is.
Yeah, it was a great matchup. We love bringing the coverage here to you on Medina TV, and we're glad for all of those that tuned in. We're glad that we could bring this to you in light of everything that's been going on. We wish everyone stays safe through the coming days, weeks, as we work through the process. And it was a pleasure. Thank you for joining me, Rob. I know we got you on that flight and got you here in time and got you here to make the coverage. But, again, I want to thank our crew, Summer Gray, Georgia Nielsen, Jason Barros, and Matt Tomek for helping us get everything set up, get all the images and sound here to you tonight, and we appreciate it. We appreciate you watching our coverage. Again, your final here tonight, Menor 76, Medina 72. On behalf of Rob Walgate and myself, have a great night, everyone.